Hello, everyone. Welcome to Harmonia's Lament. In this series, we used the game, I'm sorry, did you say street magic to build a city? Now we're using kids on bikes to explore that city. We will shortly be, or next week, we'll be using 10 candles to destroy that city and then a quiet year to rebuild the city. But before we dive into our game, I'd like to introduce our cast. We'll do more thorough intros at the end, but for now, briefly tell us who you are and who you're playing. Let's start with Ambrose.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ambrose, she, they pronouns. I'll be playing Hope, she, they. She, her, my bad.
Sam.
Well, I'm Sam DeLev. This is definitely the first city I've ever built up to destroy, and tonight I'm playing Morgan.
Kate.
Hi, everybody. I'm Katiosaurus. You can call me Kate. Tonight, my pronouns are she, they. Tonight, I'm going to be playing Manny. It's a deep cut. And his pronouns are he, him.
For those who don't remember, Manny was in Morgan's scene last week. And Nordine Ali.
Hi, my name is Nordine Ali Kadir. My pronouns are he, him. But that's not what's important tonight. Tonight, I played Tuim, the sort of priestly revolutionary person whose pronouns are he, they.
Amazing. And I'm Paula Hawthorne, she, her, and I'll be facilitating this game for y'all. So I think we get started now. That's how we start, right? I know what I'm doing. I love this game. Kids on Bikes is an excellent system. So, spirited, towering, melodious, and cramped, the city of Harmonia is made up of spires and dreams. Towering buildings interconnected with all sorts of bridges, ropes, and zip lines, made alive with instruments creating harmonies in every alley and balcony. Ghosts walk the streets with mortals, and everyone is happy. Despair, grief, regret, shame, and anger have been outlawed for a very long time. And with the recent rebellion squashed as the symbol crashed on the Prima Donna bar just 6 months ago, open talk of despair has ceased. The council acted quickly when the most resilient rebels began to make themselves known. Measures were sent down to the lower neighborhoods. They would roam the streets, cheering up citizens with a jolly word and a keen listening ear, making sure that isolation and sadness was quickly thwarted and those who felt deeply were kept apart. Though the measures do not use violence, their presence is seen by many as a final warning from the council. But things are on the mend. The sadder citizens are beginning to see the error of their ways, and everything is as it should be. At least, Hope, that's what you keep hearing up in the whistle tips. So much reassurance, it's starting to feel a bit hollow. Hope, what does your and Gregory's living quarters look like up here?
Oh boy. I would imagine that it looks a lot like it's a floor-to-ceiling windows, very crystal-like. I think I said Art Deco vibe. Wide open spaces, always clean, very modern looking up here. Is the best way to put it. There's always flowers in a vase on the kitchen island. Is the best way to put that. Everything's, I don't know if we have we probably have a maid, that makes sense. It's so it's constantly clean, the white glove treatment to make sure there's never dust, always light coming through, probably automatic curtains that would open at certain times and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the vibes. I don't know what time of day it is, but I can imagine sun streaming through.
Yeah, there is sun streaming through actually because it's mid-morning and the entirety of the whistle tips is singing. There are little flutes and piccolos embedded basically in the windows so that you can hear the sound of the wind coming through without it affecting the temperature of your room too much, because that'd be a huge issue. So you hear these little crystalline jingles as well as these high flute tones that all harmonize together and make this space feel as it ought to. You're enjoying a quiet moment of peace, or at least a reflective moment of peace. The lower districts haven't been making as much noise recently, so the high-end whistle tip noise has been most of what you've been hearing. How currently Gregory is not home, so how are you spending your time?
Oh, that's a good question. Since Gregory's not here, I think that she takes the time to kind of catch up on news, I would suppose. So I wish this is what spirit punk. So I'd imagine that using she's able to crank the volume of whatever spirits are powering the house so that it's not too loud. It's enough money so that we can filter in the sound a certain way so that it sounds a certain way. I would say that's powering the television in order to see what's going on in the whistle tips. There's a lot having to do with families, a lot of positivity happening. I would say there's a couple of things going on that behind the scenes, we know there's more mess and drama among families, but then there's always seeing them on the TV, smiling and waving, knowing that that person is sleeping with that person, and stuff like that, and the scandal over there, and just nodding along. Has a cup of coffee, woke up late, so this is late morning, early afternoon. Slowly got out of bed. Is the best way to put it.
Yeah, the news is very sterile for the most part, but you basically fill in the blanks as you go, finding the news beneath the news. Not much is talked about with the lower neighborhoods. Not much is needed to know that they're doing great. Everyone's doing great. Until you nearly spill your coffee when the door swings open so fast that it smacks against the wall and swings back, almost catching Gregory in the face as he runs in. Hope! Hey!
Why are you ruining everything? I can't even have a cup of coffee in peace.
Let me close the door before you complain, please.
Yes, please do that, dear.
Quietly closes the door. Listen, dear, I have some good news for you.
Yes.
Are you in a space to talk about positive things, or do we want to talk about the coffee a bit first?
Please talk.
Oh,
all that is. I know I don't often give you the opportunity to talk, but please, I'm giving you that option now. Please do that.
Hope. I just spoke with Councilman Chimes, and he has a space for us at the top. Up in the seat. Not in the council. Not in the council, but something more secure. We just have to do a little favor for him. We're set.
Okay. Spot at the top. That sounds lovely. What favor, though?
So, doesn't sound like too big of a deal, but we need to go, well, one of us, probably going to be you, needs to go down to one of the crushed bar. That's where he said to go. The one that got destroyed. And pick something up and then bring it somewhere else. That's it.
And I'm doing that. Not
yes. Mm-hmm. Not me. I did the deal. I talked to them.
Oh man, how much effort did that take? How much did you have to weigh to lift with your pinky?
Hope.
Poor baby.
Listen. This seat is kind of important to both of us, right? Both of these spots, because actually it's going to help more than you realize. A lot of things here are more precarious than you seem to be treating them, because this complaining, this negativity, that's going to bring us down. But these seats are secured for each of us. Do you know what that means, Hope?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. 1 + 1 = 2. I'm not stupid, Gregory.
Not anymore. With these 2 seats, we won't have to rely on each other to stay at the top, Hope. Your seat's yours, mine is mine.
And we can do whatever we wanted once we're there.
Whatever we wanted is a big word, but we won't have to do this anymore. I thought you'd be delighted.
I am. Very. Because talking down to me when I'm the only one, and she's gonna like put her coffee down, stand up, walk up to this. I can't imagine that he's probably the same height as her, like, is what I
He's
feel.
shorter, but his chest is puffed out.
Also,
and
he's
his
like
chin
a
is
short
up.
king. All right, cool, awesome. So walks up to him, looks down her nose at him. It's like, it's not that you get anything done. I always do the hard things. So yeah, I guess you wouldn't have been able to go down there. I wonder how you're going to do without me, Gregory. But I guess we'll be split apart after this. Hope you can actually get your hands dirty.
Maybe I can finally feel happy, so why don't we give this a shot?
I don't think happiness is in your anything, to be honest. But here's hoping. Here's trying. Hoping. Anyway, I got it, dear. Pats him on the head. And gets ready to get dressed.
Okay. Properly annoyed, Gregory doesn't say much to you after that, but you have been given the information to go down to the destroyed bar, and hopefully something will be there for you, and more information provided. But for now, we're going to head down from the whistle tips, the top spires of the city, towards the grove. And in the grove is a little library, the loudest library. Sometimes you can speak above a whisper. And at the basement of this library is a small basement space. And while we did briefly describe its stone walls and a slight glow to it and all of the instruments placed very diligently, though unplayed most of the time, Morgan, there's been some stress in this city recently. Something is brewing and humming, especially beneath in the lower neighborhoods. How is it affecting Morgan's laboratory?
It is almost vibrating, and it's beginning to create sympathetic resonances in some of the stringed instruments along the walls, the ones that are never particularly played, some of them not played for a reason, some of those reasons aural, but only some. But they're humming now. They probably shouldn't be humming.
But they have been for a few months now. You probably only started to notice it a short while in, but they've always been doing that since that bar got smashed. Something's been building, and your grandparents, who have been mentoring you through your studies, have upped the amount of training time you're doing and have drilled you harder on particular pieces. Clearly something is coming. Something is going to happen, but they won't tell you anything. And you sit now at the piano, which is their instrument of choice recently, though it's not your most comfortable one. Okay, play it again, your grandmother says. This time, not one mistake. I heard when you slipped up on the key. Sharp fell off the sharp. You need to be deliberate with your fingers. Otherwise, this won't
fingering
work.
is too much of a reach. I can't get it reliably that way.
Your grandfather says, well, we won't have time to wait till your hands get bigger. So if you can make a jump or stretch, it might hurt a bit, but try if you could.
Yes, Papa.
And as you play again, I would like you to make either a flight or a charm roll for me. Whichever feels right.
All right.
And the difficulty for this piece, you have practiced it a lot. But the stress is rather immense. So the difficulty is 11.
All right. 17 on the die.
And you play through it perfectly. There's some pieces of emotion that you would have rather slowed down at certain points, but every key hit was correct for the right duration. It could be slightly perfected, but it's clean. It's very clean. That was very good. You just have to make sure that keeps happening. We need the consistency.
Of course. Yeah.
They sort of float on either side of you, probably trying to simulate some kind of embrace, though it does feel a bit close after going through all of that stress to play. So, Morgan, I know it's been frustrating to not know exactly what it is you're playing for or, practicing. We've been having you practice a lot. And I think it's time we tell you because it's going to happen pretty soon. And your grandfather, pretty soon is a kind way of saying it. It's going to be this evening. And we're going to need you to head there soon.
What?
Yes, this is what you've been training for. We didn't know it would happen so quickly. Yes, we would have told you earlier if we knew it was coming this soon, but things have been moving faster than anyone expected.
Tonight?
Yes, just treat it like one of your recitals, dear. You'll be fine.
Well, it's just, on recital day, I have a ritual and it's already kind of late in the morning, and so I can't do all of it, and...
Can you do it in your head, like inside? Because we're going to have to send you somewhere. We don't know exactly where this recital will take place, but someone does. So we're going to get you to that person.
And they know where.
They know where. Yes. And I don't want to add any extra pressure, though this is one of those times where we really can't miss a key. Do you want to practice one more time? Will that help?
No, I mean, I won't miss.
Good. I won't miss. So you're going to be, I believe, heading to the prima donna. That's where everyone's meeting. That's not where you'll be playing, but that's where everyone's going to be. Okay? You're going to find some friends, and they'll take you to where you need to go, okay?
Will you be there?
Unfortunately, your grandfather and I can't be there. This is... The place you're going to is important, but hard to reach. That's why we didn't know where it was. We still don't.
But if I find the place and I come back here before the recital, maybe it's someplace you could be.
We'll come find you right when it's done, okay? We'll congratulate you, and we'll be able to relax a bit after this.
Let's just do this.
You're going to be perfect.
I won't miss a key.
You won't. And we'll move to Manny. While you were last seen in the laboratory itself, is that where you call home?
No. Manny is a ghost. And so Manny kind of has the unique ability to sort of like pop in and out of basically anywhere that he wants to be at any given time. I think he hangs out a lot in the library and down in the groves, but it's more of just wherever he feels like manifesting today, because the city as a whole is his home.
Mm-hmm. When he gets summoned, where is he manifesting?
Somewhere conveniently close to the manifester. But Manny is also the type of ex-person who would, be a little bit silly about it. Like if there's a piano in your apartment, he's going to come out of the top of the piano. He doesn't have to, but he finds joy in it, or like if you've got a statue on the wall, he'll like stick his head out the top of the statue just to like, give you a little visual something.
You find yourself being summoned to a very low balcony in the unsound, and you see that it's like a 2-story building, 2nd-story balcony, and there's a roof atop that you think it would be hilarious to drop from.
Okay.
And you see below you, there's a man who is whispering to summon you.
So Manny will come like crashing down through the roof as though he has fallen, and really hit him with a, oh my god, oh god, oh no, oh, I'm in so much pain, oh god, what did you do?
I am so sorry. I thought I did it right. Are you okay? Is there something I could do to help?
Manny sort of like adjusts his ghostly attire and goes, I'm just messing with you. It's just a little bit of ghost humor, for the day.
It's super funny. And you see this person who's whipped around from this balcony to see your fall, with sort of lanky, tall, awkward-looking guy with sort of a light brown hair that has grown just a bit past his eyes, so he has to like keep moving it so it doesn't get in the way. Sort of awkward teen, if that teen were an adult. And he comes up to you. I'm sorry. I guess I'm not sorry because you weren't hurt, but I'm still feeling sorry. I kind of need your help with something, and is that something you could do for me?
Do I recognize this person? Have I met them before?
I don't know if you have, but they seem to bear a resemblance to someone you might have known. Like maybe this is a family connection or something. You're not sure. Make a brains roll for me.
Okay. Here I go.
The difficulty for this would be an 8.
Okay. And I get a +1. Well, I got a 5, so no, I did not.
Take that adversity token for not knowing. They seem oddly familiar, but unfortunately, since you are a ghost, you've had a lot of experience, like conscious experience, so you really don't know where you might know this person from. At this point, you've been around so long, you probably could vaguely recognize most people in the city.
Okay. Yeah, so Manny will kind of nod and just kind of say, yeah, of course. What do you need? What can I do? Also, can I get like a name? Can I get an intro here? I'm Manny. I'm sure you know.
Yeah. So I'm John. I need something from you that I kind of need specifically you for. So if you're interested, you let me know. Otherwise, I guess there's no otherwise. Can you help me?
I mean, are you in some kind of trouble, kid? Like what's going on?
Sort of. Not me. No, I'm getting to that. Not me specifically. So there's some people who are going to a place where they're going somewhere they don't know where they're going, but you know where they're going and you can get them there. So you could take them to where they're going.
Are we doing charades? Are we doing like some sort of guessing game? What you can talk to Uncle Manny. Come on. You're fine. Use your big boy words. All right. Come on. Also, I'm just literally playing my mom today, I guess. This is fine. All right. This is what we're doing. All right. Anyway.
No, it's just there's a lot of moving pieces. So there are going to be some people that are going to the Prima Donna bar, the one that got smashed. And you're going to take them to a location. I believe it's in the groves that only ghosts can see.
Oh, okay. So this is. Yeah, I mean, I know where you're talking about, but I guess I'm just kind of wondering, why would anybody need to go there? What This sounds like a you're in trouble, but you don't want to say that you're in trouble because you're afraid of getting in trouble sort of thing. Is that what's going on here?
No, I'm not gonna get in trouble. There aren't many people who could get me in trouble. But there's a thing that's gonna need to happen this evening, and there's a person that has to be in a place for that thing to happen. And so the reason I'm being a bit difficult is because I think it's better if you know what you need to know, you know?
Oh, so it's like top secret sort of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Directly from the council, you know, like big stuff.
Manny is going to sidle up to the kid with his little tiny ghost glasses, and he's gonna pull him down to the bridge of his nose. Goes, Uncle Manny, I don't work for free. You know, I got, what, I guess what I'm asking is, what's in it for me? What does old man get out of this?
I mean, excellent prop. Free's a good word. Actually, because hopefully if this goes the way it's meant to go, everyone in Harmonia is gonna finally be free, actually. So if that's the good incentive.
I mean, I was just Josh. I was going to do it no matter what. I don't got nothing
Okay.
going on tonight, but I just wanted to see what you were going to say. And then he finger guns.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm meeting some people at the bar, and then I'm taking them down to the groves, and then I await your signal.
The gate. Just get to the gate in the groves. I can't be there exactly. But hopefully it'll just kind of be clear if you just go to I think
Okay.
what's the name of that place?
I'm
The one
gonna
that
do
ghosts
it.
can see.
All right, I am willing to do this for you. However, I do have one question, and I want you to answer it honestly. All right? Who are you working with? Because this is not the kind of request that old Manny usually gets. And when somebody comes along and has some sort of, request about gates and taking people certain places and you can't be there, you got to be somewhere else, that starts to sound like maybe there's a little bit of a chum in the water, and maybe you're the chum. You got some sharks and you're drowning. I don't really know where I was going with this metaphor, but I was trying to stick the landing and avoiding jumping the shark.
No.
There I go, old Manny, Manny. I got
Yeah, no, you did great. It's hard to explain. Can spirits hear the whispers?
Manny gets ridiculously close to this kid's ear, and he goes, "I can hear everything. Oh, spooky ghost stuff."
Yeah, cool. So then, yeah, it's so there's some spirits that kind of talk to me and give me an idea of things I wouldn't know otherwise, and they said that this is going to be what helps Harmonia because things aren't great right now.
Manny will pause, look him up and down, and his demeanor changes. He gets a little bit more serious, and he goes like, "All right, this city means a lot to me. It's done right by me when I haven't done right by it a lot of times, and I owe it my life." And he kind of looks at himself, and honestly, I owe it my death. So I'll do this, but kid, you better be being honest. And then, floom, he just disappears.
Just you hear a slight shriek, like in the last, like cut off by your exit. And we move on to Tuim. Where do you call home at the moment?
That is a great question. I've found a place in the Discordant to call home. It's an old building, mostly just the facade still exists, that's built, everything, like a huge tower is built on top of it, but it's one that Tuim doesn't have access to. In fact, it's separated from the rest of the tower down here, because this isn't the place where the Whistletip folk like to come.
Yeah, you've been able to evade the measures a bit, though running into them is exhausting as they are chipper, essentially roaming therapists and camp counselors who are there to just get you happy, get you hyped, and really it's just exhausting any interaction. So you found a spot where they don't tend to go. And you hear a knock at the door that's almost lost in the sort of knocking and percussion of discordance. But you're sure you heard it.
I lower my voice down to a whisper and I say, "Who goes there?"
Hey, can I come in?
Door's unlocked.
And you recognize the voice. This is Kalas, who has been working with the rebellion, if you can call it that at the moment, sort of as another de facto leader when you had to go into hiding for a brief period of time after the prima donna got crushed.
Yeah.
Kalas kind of stepped up with similar messaging, but a more violent energy that I think got the attention of the people well enough to keep some form of a rebellion going, which you owe him that, though you might disagree with how fervent the messaging has been. And he's a tall, lanky, bald man with brown skin, and just sort of looks like you two could be related, but your faces are so different. Specifically your faces. And he comes in with his perpetual scowl and very quietly closes the door behind him. You having a good nap?
I have not been napping. Why are you so down today?
I am not down. I am chipper.
Of course you are.
I need you to do something for me.
And now I'm worried. What is it?
So, I know we've been kind of doing this back and forth, pushing, and then they push back and things. But it sounds like something's going to happen tonight, and it's it's going to be a big problem if it succeeds. So I'm kind of going to need you to help me make it fail.
I think there's a bit of a tinkling sound as I go start to make a pot of tea. You best speak quickly if it's that serious.
It very much is. Something's going to happen tonight, and there's a location that I think everyone's been looking for. Sorry for not telling you all of this earlier, but I didn't think it was real. Apparently it's super important, and I'm going to need you to destroy it before anything bad can come of it.
You're asking me to destroy something?
I know it's not your style. All Harmonia's harmonious. But yeah, I'm going to need that to happen.
Khalas, I don't know if you realize the seriousness of what you're asking me to do. Why?
Because if you don't, this whole place is coming down.
By coming down, you mean?
Well, I don't know specifically, but I keep hearing things about the cacophony that's coming, so. Doesn't sound fun, does it? Will you do a little bit of destruction to help us out?
I'll think about it.
You
Point
don't
me in
have
the right
time.
direction. Well, I'll think about it in that I'll judge the situation and then I'll make a decision. Point me in the right direction.
All right, I'm going to need to trust you for this one, so hopefully you will judge correctly. There are some folks that are being organized by the council who are set to go over there. Just find them. I think we just got word that they're going to be meeting at the Prima Donna. Funny, right? Join them, act like you were invited to or whatever, and take this. And out of his pocket, he pulls out a rather large box that, do you take?
Yes, I do.
And you see it is a matchbox. And there's one match inside. You can hear it jingling around in there. And that's for you. If you
All this box
judge,
for one match.
You only need one.
I pour 1 cup of tea, and then I pour the rest into a thermos. And I hold the cup towards him. That's for you. Try to not burn down my house. And I pack
Hey,
away
you
the
have the
thermos.
match. And he
This isn't
makes himself
funny.
comfortable in your house. What would
This
you
isn't
say?
funny, you know.
I thought laughing was the right way to deal with everything. That's what I keep hearing.
Not here. If you'll excuse me, I need to go make my way up, I guess. And then
Have fun.
I show him the
Alright.
finger as I leave.
You somehow hear him returning it. And you head out. So we cut to the Prima Donna, which used to be an excellent seedy little bar down in the Unsound. It was mostly a bar, but it also doubled as a scream easy. Locations before things got a little bit bad, there aren't that many now, where people were able to scream out all of their negative emotions in relative privacy. They were padded for sound, and you could essentially get that feeling out and move on, ignoring that it ever happened. This one has been crushed by the council as the symbols come crashing down, destroying, honestly, almost the whole block, to the point that you only see the PR of Prima Donna and the top of the opera singer lady that served as their logo. And Hope, you arrive first. Have you been down here before? How long has it been, actually? That's a better question. How long has it been since you've been down here?
It's been a while. It's been since the Prima Donna used to go by something else. I would say that the Screaming Clam, I think is what it was called before. Kind of the same pose, like wherever that singing lady was, there was just a yelling clam. They now have a whole aesthetic, and it looked a lot better. I did come down one time to see that change, I would say. But haven't been since. So it's probably been a few years since I've been down here. Hearing about it being smashed, I feel a little bit down about it, but I immediately stone up, keep a trained stoic face in regards to this as I make my way there.
Yeah, some of the things that have changed about the Unsound, it's usually pretty quiet, as most of the noise is relegated to the insulated screameasies. But it's extra quiet in sort of an avoidant way. As you see, there are individuals who wear black suits with white lines going vertically down like strings on an instrument, wandering around, various people wearing these outfits, just giving pep talks and smiling and being chummy with people who seem to quietly accept it and move on. None of them seem to approach you, as you've gotten pretty good at perfecting the I'm fine look. And you're able to make your way over to the wreckage of the Prima Donna right around the time that Morgan, you approach as well. Now, Morgan, as you approach Hope, what do you look like?
I would say that she had tried to make herself look like a resident of the Discordant, I guess, or like the Unsound, but like it's still higher class. So like if it was just like, oh yeah, working clothes, but not like brand new. She has like a hood that she's pulled up. It's like the way that it's made, the cloth used and stuff like that, the materials. Clearly, if you look close enough, anyone would be able to tell, talking with her for at least a minute, that like, you don't belong here, do you? But she's hoping that she doesn't have to stop and talk to anybody, and just do the pickup. Wearing dark blues or darker colors, but underneath the hood there would be lighter colors such as like golden earrings, dark skin, sharp brown eyes, and makeup on point, manicured fingers. But she's trying to keep all that closed off. Head down, only looking when she needs to.
And Morgan, what does Hope see as you approach?
There's that trope of 3 whatever stacked in a trench coat. In their navy blue wool greatcoat, it looks like you took 2 of the 3 out. And you just left one little Morgan swimming in the greatcoat. Under it, you can just see the fringe of someone's hand-me-downs. Everything about Morgan looks like they're just a little too little for their coat, for this block. They're a coat with a bun sticking out. A little ballerina bun, pulled just a touch too tight.
And Morgan, you see this person standing and waiting, and your grandparents did give you a vague idea that you were meeting someone from the Whistletips who was going to come, as well as additional people. That was unclear.
Hi.
Hello.
Am I supposed to meet with you? Are you supposed to give me something?
Give? No, but do you know where?
No.
Oh.
Why are you here? Maybe we're not supposed to meet up. Maybe you're not the person I'm supposed to meet up with.
No,
today.
I'm sorry. I was sent here. I have a recital.
Oh.
Someone was supposed to tell me about the venue.
Oh, no, then definitely not me. I'm just here to pick up something and be on my way. That's all.
Sorry,
Manny. Is it?
Oh, that's it. Like you could just cut it off there. Like I know you don't.
Manny, there is a metal trash can with a lid on it that's right by where they're standing.
Manny. Okay, so picture Oscar the Grouch. And Manny comes up and he's like, "Oh, I'm the ghost of the trash can. Oh, I'm a trash ghost. Oh boy, nah." And Manny, and then like kind of regrets it. Like he looks up at these 2 figures and he's like awkwardly like he could manifest out of the garbage can. But it's like in that moment, he's just awkwardly climbing out of the garbage. He like knocks it over, it, like rolls down the street a little bit, like garbage falls out of it. And he's like, "Oh, it's fine. I'll get it. Hi, hello, I'm Manny. I will be your
Manny,
tour
the trash
guide."
ghost.
Oh no, I'm not actually a trash. I was trying to do like a.
Mhm.
Yeah, I see though. I see where that's. You know
Yeah.
what? That one's on me. That's fine.
Mhm.
That's fine. Anyway,
First
you look
impressions
nice.
are everything, is what I hear, Manny.
Oh, well, you know what they say about old Manny? The first impression might be the worst, but it's better than the second. It's a thing that a lot of people say about me. Just ask around. Anyway, so I'm Manny. I'm guessing by the state of both of you, the child, and also this is clearly your first time down here. So I will be your tour guide this evening. It's gonna be pretty easy. Just follow me. No sudden noises. Stay close. Maybe don't talk too much. And then we'll just get you where you're going, and it'll be fine.
Whoa! Hold it. I appreciate you, Trash Manny, but in terms of what I need,
you know what? It's fine. I'm fine with it. I accept
Wait,
it.
I will interrupt to say, Trash Manny, can you describe how you look?
Yes.
Because you described your entrance, but what do they see?
Yes, Trash Manny. What you see for our lovely viewers at home is picture Jack Black. current Jack Black, like Mandalorian Jack Black, but see-through and slightly tinged blue. He has this beard that's very like black and gray, like salt and pepper. And it's kind of like fancy. It's curled a little bit. He's got like a George Washington like ponytail. And he's wearing this like very sharp, but very, very dated sort of 3-piece suit, this big silly ascot, and sleeves rolled up. He's got like a deck of cards and a carton of cigarettes tucked into his pocket. And he looks just a little rumply, but like in a friendly sort of way. And that's what Manny looks like. I forgot what we were doing.
No, silly.
Yeah, as you all are being silly. Yeah, go ask your question, Amber.
It's like, so, I'm sorry, no, Trash Manny. I appreciate this, whatever, looks at both of them. This is, I'm here to pick something up. That's the only reason why I came down here. It has nothing to do with, I feel like we're going on a trip, and that's not what I was promised or told.
Okay, how about the coat? What do you have to say for yourself? Oh my god, there's a person in there. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I thought it was just a coat. I thought it was like a magic coat. So sorry. All right. Hello. Oh, Morgan. What are you Morgan?
Oh, there you are.
Does your family know you're down here? Are you supposed to be down here? Morgan. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Did you sneak out again?
No.
All right. Okay. I'm just checking. I wouldn't be mad. I just want to make sure I get my story lined up.
Talking like you know who they are.
Yeah, me and Morgan go way back. I listen to Morgan practicing all the time. Right?
Well,
that was the right scene, right? Was I remembering that correctly, right? We have at least 45 seconds of close friendship, all right?
Playing. That's how I know.
Sometimes that's all you need.
And peers down into the coat. Oh, that's how I know you. Oh, you're a prodigy, right?
I don't know. I'm supposed to say that. It seems impolite.
Well, we hear about you all the way. Actually, I shouldn't be talking about that. Never mind. And takes a step back.
Tuxim. You see 3 odd-looking characters standing in front of the smashed prima donna in a way that is so obvious it could only be them that Colossus was talking about.
May I help you?
What do they see when they look at you?
They see a tall, gaunt man whose skin is cold, almost kind of grayish. His head and beard are shaved down, so it's just scruff everywhere. And if you see his nails, they're covered in, his fingers are covered in wrinkles, and his nails are stained with stone dust. Even the clothes he wears are faded. The colors are washed out to the point that some of them just look brown or gray.
I would assume that Tuxim just rolled up on us. I turn around and then I just do a once over in surprise. And I'm like, where did you come from? Have you ever seen sun? That's another thing I'm very concerned about for you.
Well, your people keep it to themselves, so, it's not exactly my place.
It's not your place, but you said it anyway. See how that
I happen to like the darkness. Naturally.
Whatever you say. Anyway, I don't know what this setup is, but I was told that I was supposed to be given something. It seems like we're going on a trip. Is that what's happening? It turns to Manny.
Manny is thinking about what Manny wants to do. Manny will say, that was nice. Anyway, so I got told I'm supposed to bring you all up to the gate, which I know where that is. I can take you there. That's all the instructions I was given, and frankly, I feel like there were some key details I probably should have asked about, but I got nervous. I had just fallen off of a roof, and it was like a whole thing. So,
You're
what I'm saying,
ghost.
not my fault. Not my fault. Not my fault if I did a bad job. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, all right, you're picking something up. You're here, and Morgan, what are you doing? Why are you here, honey?
There's a recital tonight, and they just told me this morning.
A recital here?
I'm assuming not, considering the place is toast.
Yeah, it's
That I'm
been
happy to
snacks
see
or-
toast, of course.
I think maybe it's where Manny's taking us.
But
Oh.
you're Morgan.
Yes.
Just a fan of your work. That's all.
Coat intensifies.
Can everyone make me a brains roll? Difficulty of 8, please.
Okay.
Will a 14 do it?
Yeah, that would do it.
I got a 5, so.
Okay.
10.
I got a 4.
All right,
Stay
Kate and
in.
Ambrose. Kate and Ambrose take those adversity tokens, and actually, this works out well because Tuxim and Morgan, you're at pocket height for Hope, so you notice this, and Tuxim, you can tell when someone is being pickpocketed, and that's almost what you saw happen to Hope until you notice that the pocket got bigger. Morgan, you also notice that there's something in Hope's pocket that wasn't in there previously.
May I whistle a little bit to see if anyone comes to the fore who might otherwise not have been seen?
Yes. Make a charm roll for me.
Okay.
Difficulty 6.
All right. 16.
Nice.
Yeah, you see that there was a bunch of bustle. You don't know when this might have happened, but someone is hiding around the corner of the wreckage of the prima donna to the point that they're not visible, but they are back to the wreckage listening. And you can sense them when you send that whistle out as it bounces around the square.
Morgan moves to nudge Manny. It's not very effective.
I'm just gonna lean in close to Morgan and tap them on the shoulder and just point to the pocket, because I probably noticed this person too. We all heard the whistle, and I'm going to casually wander over.
No one's gonna tell me about the thing in my pocket.
Nope, no one's going to. We're not going to.
Y'all are great. It's fine. It's valid. Continue.
Look, you're rich. What are you gonna notice if there's a couple extra dollars in there? No one's gonna know. It's fine.
Anyway.
Does anyone follow Tuxim to go seek out this person?
Do I notice Morgan trying to signal me?
Yeah, you probably can tell when someone's attempting to physically touch you and fails.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll look at Morgan and try and get a head nod from them and just be like, what's the all right. Yeah, and then I'll go with Tuxim.
I'm gonna take the back because no one told me nothing. I just saw everyone do a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna follow.
Yeah, they looked at you and then they started communicating weirdly, and then a couple of them wandered.
Could I even though I failed, could I just see that they all looked at my pocket and then acted, or is it just I just make
think
It's very
people-
transparent.
It's very
Yeah, I
I
think
think
they all
they're
looked at
like
your
a
pocket.
difficulty 0 of an insight check kind of person.
Yeah,
Okay.
nobody told you, but they all looked at your pocket, said nothing, and then looked somewhere else and wandered off.
Alright, I'm just gonna
Um,
look, but take the back and check out what they looked at essentially.
When you reach into your pocket, you find a piece of raw silk fabric that is blue and green, and it's wrapping around something. Which do you want to unwrap it, or that was what you felt when you would reach in?
I'm gonna be very secretive about it and like peek in. I'm not gonna like flap it open, but just...
Yeah, you see a small metal tuning fork with an image of a water droplet on the handle of it.
Okay.
You can add that to your backpack. And as you, Tuxim, are the first to come around the corner, it seems that there are a few following behind with Manny up second. You see a child who is hiding in the wreckage, just very obviously listening, and thought that she was safe given that she was not visible to y'all. And when you come around, just looks immediately spooked and is about to run.
Before the moment I spot this child, how do they look? Poor, hungry, rich, old? Not old. They're a child.
They're a child. They look like a child. She is wearing what was once nice yellow dress that seems to have lived a very long life, so possibly a hand-me-down of some kind. But it's well made, well loved.
I'm gonna pull out my thermos. It's like almost looks like an obelisk made of some like sort of gray stone, and I wave in her direction. Would you like a drink?
I gotta go.
No, you don't. What did you slip into my friend's pocket?
I was told to do it.
That's okay. No one's judging you for it.
Oh, I'm your friend now.
The rest of y'all probably come around at this point. Oh, you're a ghost. Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's pretty noticeable. What's your name, kid?
Calliope.
Calliope.
I shouldn't have said that. Ignore that I said it.
It's all right. No, wait, Calliope. Seems familiar for some reason. Look, would you like a cup of tea? And talk about who exactly asked you to put something in my friend's pocket. Can I roll charm?
Yeah. She is ready to book it, so difficulty 10. So you better roll that 10 on your D10.
Well, I'm gonna roll a 6
now remember,
instead.
Friends can help with adversity tokens.
This is true.
If they have any to spend. But you did roll a 6, so 4 would need to get spent.
I don't think we even have 4 amongst us.
Y'all need to fail more rolls then.
I have 2.
This kid is starting to... So you say you want to share a drink, and this kid is like, no.
Hey, little one. And I'm assuming that Tuxim just looks like tall, gaunt, probably terrifying to this little child. I'm going to go up next to them and crouch down to eye level. Say like, let's talk person to person here. Huh? You put something in my coat. Your name is Calliope, which is a very lovely.
Which you should not know that.
I'll pretend that out of my mind. Already gone. But could you tell us who told you to put this in my pocket then?
Make a charm roll.
Yeah. And I'm kind of good at that. Hold on.
Same difficulty of 10.
I got a 15.
She stares at you for a long time, a little worried, but then also sees that it seems you have a kid with y'all and softens at that for a moment of like, okay, you're not, this is like a weird family situation going on probably. Yeah, so I didn't ask for his name, but some guy asked if I could pick pockets good, and I can. And I didn't pick your pocket, so I'm really wondering why I'm in trouble here, because I put something in your pocket, and that is allowed.
No, it isn't, because fiddling with someone's... You still touch someone without asking for the consent.
I didn't get that close. I'm really good at this.
Kids are going to find a way around it down here.
My point. I'm more familiar with down here than you.
How would you know that? You don't know anything about me. Child.
You think I don't? Hope?
Child. Who put it in my pocket?
Who put that in your pocket?
Who
Me.
told you to put it in my pocket?
Oh, I thought you had
Don't be
secrets.
sneaky.
A man. He had brown hair, and it was long, not long, but long, and I don't remember. He was tall and he was a man. He asked me to put something in your pocket.
Hey,
He
that's-
gave me the. What was that, Manny?
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's okay, you know. Like I've been around this city for a very long time, and frankly, like, you know, a lot of guys, uninteresting people. You just, you're just like, oh, it's the guy, you know. So let me know, was he an older guy, or was he a younger guy, or was he a ghost like me?
Not a ghost. Was young. He was dressed super nice like her.
Okay, so he was a super nice younger guy, and you said he had what color hair?
Brown.
Light brown.
Wrong.
All right. And do you remember anything else? Did he wear glasses? Did he have like a funny tie or a piece of jewelry?
He
Maybe a
was
tattoo?
super nervous, and he kept talking to like the right. There was no one there, but like kept chatting like he had a friend.
Did he say by any chance that his name was John?
Maybe? Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
John.
Did he say why he wanted you to put the thing in the nice person's pocket?
Nope. He just said find a rich person by the prima donna and put that in their pocket.
Okay, and what did he give you?
Money.
All right. Well, what if I double it for you to remember why he wanted you to do this, eh?
I feel like I've answered with all the information I have, and I would
No,
just
that's
make
fine.
something
You're
up
doing
at this point.
No, you're doing a great job, Calliope. It really
No.
does help us out.
No. Her name's not Calliope.
Oh, you're right. Steve, isn't
So-
it? Steve, who gives her this big smile and like winks.
Calliope is starting to take a couple steps back and is likely going to start to run shortly. If anyone wants to try and catch her, you can, but it's a flight roll.
Yeah.
Tuxiem? No. Yeah,
Oh,
she
no.
there's too much happening. Her eyes are wide. She feels like she has done her part and knows there's a confidence in her run that she knows that she can outrun basically anyone and just books it.
Her shoes light up, so she knows that she's super fast. I'm sorry.
No, she can't afford light up shoes. We're down the unsound. That's a very whistle tip thing to think. And with that, it's just the four of you.
So someone looks at Manny. You know this John? There's a lot of Johns that dress like I do. So you gotta. That's not gonna be very helpful.
You don't know the alternative.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say I got summoned by a particular one this very day actually, and so I'm sort of assuming that if he's going or taking the trouble to summon me, he's probably, you know, orchestrating some of this, but I don't know. I don't want to presume. It's not my business, not my problem. But listen, all right. I heard
summoned you?
I'm supposed
Who summoned you?
just John, right?
John, no last name.
Yeah.
Person that's talking to themselves and gave you an instruction to meet.
Yeah,
with a
I
group
feel
of
like the
people up
talking
front.
to himself thing, you know, like that's sort. There's like there's only really one John who does that, you know, around these parts. So I'm guessing it's probably the same John. I mean, it could be a wild coincidence, but who knows, you know?
I don't like this. Like,
Well, I don't
this
like
is,
it either.
rushing. I was told to get something. I assumed I was going to bring it somewhere. Now I am getting things shoved into my pocket secretly, and a ghost is going to take us to a gate.
Maybe that's the thing you were meant
I
to
don't
get.
have to. I mean, you could just not go. You
Can I
have
see it?
autonomy, you know? You could just not, and then I could go back to sleep, because I like that. I like doing that. That's fun. I don't have to deal with anybody, you know? I can just sleep. So, you guys just want to sleep? And he starts fading, like, very slowly. Like, I'm gonna go! Somebody stop me!
Hold it. No,
Okay.
you stay right there.
Okay.
Morgan
all right.
asked a question of you, Hope. Morgan.
Sorry.
The tuning fork.
Yes.
Can I see it?
Sure. He, like, takes out and passes it to me.
I just realized I didn't know what it is now. Sorry.
Well, now you do. It's like, yes. What is that thing? Oh, I think it's a tuning fork. I think. Here.
Can I find something metal to hit against? Hear the pitch.
Yeah, when you hit it, you hear the pitch, and it sounds normal to everyone else, but I want you to make a brains roll, Morgan, difficulty of 6.
Come on, you got this.
How does that work with the difficulty of rolls? Because I have the skilled at music thing.
Oh, that's perfect time to use your strength skilled at music. You were assumed to succeed when even making moderately difficult checks, 9 or less. The difficulty is 6, so you are assumed to succeed. So it just works. You just know. This tuning fork, while sounding normal to everyone else, has some kind of magical property tied into it. It's meant to, for lack of a better phrase, cast a spell at some point. If it's used at the right time or in the right environment, you maybe think it's that latter one.
All right. A440, and it's meant to go to the gate.
What does it do at the gate? Exactly.
Mm.
Cast a
Wait,
spell.
you don't-
I wouldn't know what spell. I just know that it's a classic way to cast spells here, right? Sound is used to cast spells. Quite typical.
I wouldn't want to cast an unknown spell at a gate that we shouldn't even be anywhere near in the first place.
Well, you know, I mean, I don't want to contradict you, but whether or not you're supposed to be there sort of depends on quite a few factors. Honestly, I mean, the gate's been there for pretty much since the city started getting built, and you know, a lot of people find the gate useful for certain things, you know.
Wait.
And
Could someone find out what this magic spell is before we do anything with it?
Not the person who cast it upon the tuning fork could, but that's it.
what?
Regardless.
What would make Manny know about the gate? Can I roll like a brains for that?
Yes.
Cool.
Actually, since gate has been said a few times,
Okay.
everyone can roll brains. Manny, your difficulty would be 5. Everyone else's would be 8.
Let's go. That's a 12, but it's 11 plus 1, so it doesn't explode.
That's a 10.
10.
Finally, an adversity token.
Morgan? Morgan, you have no idea. You spent a lot of time in that basement, even though it's in the groves. But yeah, so Tuxim and Hope, you keep hearing the gate, and it sounds familiar to like some kind of rhyme in a song. A gate that no one else can see, or something like that. There's a line about a gate that only spirits can see. Past the water, there's a gate that no one can see. You're trying to find the right thing, but gate keeps getting said in that song, and you do recognize that there's some kind of gate. And Manny, it dawns on you pretty much immediately. It's Mirendo Mount. in the Groves, which is a location that's become increasingly important to mortals, as it was within the year a location where a spirit was almost fully resurrected. So a lot of mortals have taken time to go over to Mirando Mount to try and either seek out a spirit who was lost or to bring a spirit there to try and bring them back. Nothing has been successful. But you also know that that's not Mirando Mount. That's just where the mortals go, and they call it that. Mirando Mount's at the center. And only spirits can get there, though many don't feel the need.
Down the road, through the gate. Bloody lyrics, all too floral. We're going to Miranda Mount. I know that. Question is why?
Oh,
Go to Mirando Mount to use this, to cast a spell using the tuning fork, and someone expected all of us to just know our roles and go ahead.
Or we're going to Miranda.
Right. Son of a bitch. Love it.
Or we're going to Miranda Mount to blow it up.
Manny will...
Yeah.
I reach in, pull out the matchbox, and just open it in their direction.
You see
Okay.
a single match with a green tip.
Oh.
Ominous. What is a single green match going to do?
It blows things up.
I have a recital.
I feel like we may have been tricked into doing this. Someone's pulling too many strings.
No, my grandparents sent me.
To do a recital at Prima Donna, the thing that's... Look at it.
Oh, no. I was supposed to find where it was going, and then I was going to go there and do it there.
So
tonight.
Miranda
You were going to go to Miranda Mount, the real one, and do a recital there.
I mean, it seems to me that, like, we all got kind of, like, half the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got told you were going to pick something up. Nope. Appears in your pocket. You know, you got told you were doing a recital. Oh, nope. Just kidding. You got to go figure out where it is. That's a weird mystery, right? So, and Tuxeem, like,
And someone gave you a match to blow something up.
Yeah. You starting fires over here, and, you know, Uncle Manny, I just got told I was supposed to help you hold the gate. I didn't get any of that other context. And frankly, knowing what I do about the gate, Mirando Mount, and the sort of the power of magic that can be accessed up there, and he'll look over at Morgan. I don't know if tonight is a good time for a recital, kid. I think that maybe there's something more at play, and I don't know. I don't have too good of a feeling about this, is all I'm saying.
Me either.
We got told, I don't want to speak for the group, but I got told that this was to help Harmonia, and that, you know, it'd be good for the city. But I mean, with all due respect, Hope, you know, what's good for the people up there ain't necessarily good for the people down here, you know.
One would say it's
and
the
I
exact
see a
opposite.
lot.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to put any of you in the position of having to choose between, you know, making a right choice and a wrong choice. So maybe we don't make a choice at all. You
Or
know?
I would love to know who this John character is. If you could point me in that direction, that would be a wonderful story.
I would love to. Give me a second to find the right browser window. What was
I will-
John's last name?
John
Chimes.
Chimes.
John
John
Chimes. That's what it
Chimes.
was. Fuck, I could not
Good
remember.
times.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Manny will just tell Hope what he knows about John Chimes. You know, just say, "This kid."
Yeah.
Talks to
The
ghosts.
basic knowledge about John Chimes that most people know is that he's sort of the hot bad boy of the council, essentially.
Oh, God.
Where the council is normally stuffy old folk, John came back into town after taking an extended period away around the time of his father, who was the previous council member's death, and seems to sort of have both the outsider role and also a legacy role in the city, and inherited the seat. There's some that believe that he's more down to earth than any of the council, and there's some that believe he has no place in that spot. That's generally the vibe, at least, of John Chimes as a politician. And you know, Hope, that Councilman Chimes was the person Gregory spoke to about the situation.
Interesting. So, John Chimes, council member, orchestrated 4 of us to meet in this spot and just follow the path of whatever this was for reasons we don't understand, which I'm not going to follow through. I would like to talk to him instead.
I mean, we could. I mean, I don't completely want to change the course of the evening, but like, we could always go find him and talk to him together. You know, united front. We want answers. We want to be all on the same page before we do anything. I'm just saying, you know, everybody comes along. Well, I mean,
So-
you could, but
I was sort of hoping this would work, but clearly it's not. So I think I owe you all an explanation. And that is where we're going to take a quick break. Thank you all so much for joining. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Okay. And we are back. Welcome back to Harmonia's Lament, episode 2, where we're playing kids on bikes to explore the city of Harmonia, a city that we created in episode 1 in a different game. And then now we're playing this game. Next week we'll be playing 10 Candles. I'm sure that won't be an issue for how this one-shot's going to end. Where we last left off, our group of 4 Harmonian citizens have found each other at the wreckage of the Prima Donna bar, where they all have separate pieces of information that some of them go together, some of them seem to contradict. It's unclear. There was confusion. Y'all interrogated a child, and now you are thinking about maybe asking. I mean, that occurred. And you're maybe thinking about asking the person who put some of y'all on this mission, and he seems to have found you. So where we left off, John Chimes, at least you hear his voice, ask if y'all need, or seemingly interested in giving y'all the clarification you need.
The first thing I do is like immediately quietly shut that matchbox and hide it on my person.
Excellent. Yeah, so you all are still here, and that probably means you aren't ready to head out. So what's going on? How can I help explain?
I'm a little confused here, John, in general. Why are we, why the cloak and dagger? Why the secret telling me one thing, telling this child, pointing to Morgan, one thing, telling him one thing, and then telling this trash ghost another?
I'm just a regular. You know what? It's fine. I don't have time.
It's stuck. It's okay. It's fine.
It's, you know, it's fine. It was my fault.
So how about, let's head in somewhere. Let's talk indoors. And he just turns around and starts walking away from you all.
Normal. Okay.
I hate upper deckers.
Thanks. And then it continues walking.
And as you follow, you head down not very far, one of the streets, and he turns onto an alley and walks you all into a door that's been propped open, and there's this little room. It's not even an apartment, it's just a small room through this door, maybe a back room to something. You can see another door on the other side. It's weirdly quiet, and just has a table and some chairs around it, like a makeshift planning room that's been emptied out. This will be fine.
Where the hell is this place? I mean, what is this place?
A room in an apartment. That doesn't matter. That's not relevant. You all have relevant questions, right? Why don't you sit?
They fold their arms over their chest and like lean on a door.
Hope
John
tentatively
Chimes
sits
it.
down, like just slowly, but like making dead eye contact with John to make him uncomfortable the entire time, and sits down.
Manny pointedly walks over to a chair and then continues. So he's walked into the middle of the chair and he just kind of stands there like, I'm a ghost. Chairs are beyond my mortal needs now.
I can't help but think you may be doing that by choice because you are making contact with the floor.
You know, ghost physics. Who made you an expert? And then Manny just sinks a little bit into the floor. Like, you know what? And he just sits, crosses his arms.
Sorry to offend. And John is sat at the end of this table. It's mostly circular, but sort of facing Tuim and the door, and tries to like lean back on the back and then kind of slips and then just ends up sitting up straight.
You are John Chimes, right?
That is me, yes.
I thought you would be a bit more...
Anything?
Continue. Yes, anything.
I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of focus on it's difficult to handle all these kinds of things, and it takes a lot of multitasking, and it just makes things kind of hard. I'm much more put together when I'm doing like official meetings. A lot is happening. You all have questions.
A lot more put together, so much so that you don't know how to give a direct order and meetup spot to 4 different individuals, and they all just had to meet up and figure it out.
I did give a meetup spot, and I did give direct orders. I didn't give you all the information because you didn't need to know it.
Why?
I guess that is a relevant question. There's something that there's a location that wasn't found. Now it's found, right? Okay. And now that it's found, things are moving quickly, and we have to. And he pauses for a second. Tuim, can you just make a quick charm roll?
Actually, can I use something from my backpack?
What do you have?
The unspoken respect of the whistle tipped.
He stares. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna need you to pair it with a charm roll, but that's gonna bring the difficulty significantly down.
Yeah, love that.
Difficulty is 4.
Ooh, a 4. I have a D10. It should work out. We're all happy. Don't look at me. My dice coming out. Oh, there we go. That is exactly a 4, thank goodness.
He stares at you for a little bit longer than you would like. Looks like he's trying to remember something. We are all here to get there before the other folks do, because that would be very, very bad.
And who's the other folks?
I
wish I was in your brain right now, so I understood who every part of you.
You do not. No, I'm doing my best. Yeah. Can I just tell them? Yeah, it's fine. The location. Okay, so I'm gonna go back a bit if this is gonna help. I'm sorry, I'm not the best communicator, and a lot has happened since I've come back to town, so you're just gonna have to bear with me on this one. You know Harmonia is like kind of alive, right? Like music and energy and things. So it's like also kind of alive, not like in the way that we are, like you aren't, but it's like it has its own life, it has its own energy, and we've kind of not humans are kind of new to this place, and we have found the heart of the city. Like, if we're using this metaphor, it's like the heart, but it's not the literal heart.
All right.
And that's a very dangerous place to be aware of, because the other folks, who I don't know by name necessarily, but I know there are people who are trying to destroy it. And that could be very catastrophic for this place and like all of us.
Why would anybody want to destroy the heart of the city?
Exactly. They don't like the spirits are kind of the native residents, and the humans or mortals are kind of the and then kind of mixed together. It got complicated. And spirits won't really be able to stick around if the city, like, it might still be habitable for humans. So maybe it's that. I haven't talked to them.
Who is this mysterious other? These others you keep mentioning.
The people that want to destroy it, yeah, they're the people that want to destroy the heart.
That's great. Who are they?
Well, I think they're the rebels, but I have not met them. I just know that now that this place, its location is known, we have to get there. And what you all are doing is not destroying. You're restarting. You are reinvigorating. You are bringing the city back to the way things were meant to be.
So that's what this tuning fork does. It's supposed to cast a spell to reinvigorate, yes?
No, that's going to get you in. The spell's a lot more complicated. But one of you knows it and is going to do a great job and is like looking at Morgan, but isn't calling them out. And it's going to be great.
So, sorry. She's going to do a little ditty on the piano, and that's going to reinvigorate the entire city.
They are going to cast a complicated spell that they've been trained on, so I've been informed.
Right. So they are going to do a complex spell. Do you know a complex spell, Morgan?
I know dozens. It's what I do.
What kind of spell do you think is appropriate for this? Because I feel like they're not going to tell you. You're going to have to know.
It's probably the mazurka. In F sharp.
It's fully prepared. You just need to get them there. Restart the city. Flourish. Boom. Done.
Mm-hmm.
And are you 100% sure that's exactly what will happen, or could something more catastrophic happen?
How did you know all this?
Yeah. Where do you get information? Yeah, exactly.
Is this from the council? Is this...
No, this is not from the council. So, okay. You know what? In the spirit of honesty, y'all want to know things, and I need y'all to do something. Fair trade. So this, like, city's alive. City's a person. City has a heart, right? Like, let's keep that going. City has immune system. And it wants to keep the city safe. And you might have heard it talk to you at some point.
Okay. So... All right, maybe a good question to ask is if we're trying to save the heart of the city, because the city's immune system is all out of whack, what is there to prevent us from being destroyed by, I don't know, to kick this already dead horse another time, by the city's white blood cells as they fight back against... This is so dumb. What's in it for us? What happens if we screw up? This is... I can't with this.
Things won't go well if you screw up, but if you don't do it, things will go worse. And if you do it, things should be good.
So this is kind of we're on a mission to save the city. That seems like a very important thing to say versus just telling us to individually meet up and do things. You understand this, right?
Yes, but you have to understand that y'all not knowing all the information would keep you safer in case, as I said, the council moves slowly, both physically and bureaucratically. And this has to happen because you are essentially racing what I'm going to assume is another individual or another group of individuals who are trying to make things very bad. So I kind of need you all to zoom, and then when the council comes down, instead of having to protect you, which I will, you just wouldn't know what had happened, and then that's easier. And then I could just make that easy.
I mean, I hate to be like this, but do you have any sort of like proof that this is happening? I mean, this is a pretty outlandish claim to just, gather a group of strangers together and say, solve the city's problems for us. Like, that's...
Well, we're not exactly all strangers. I mean, I know of you. Manny, we've met, haven't we?
I have a terrible memory for faces. I'm sorry.
Never mind. Hope, I know of Hope, and I know of you, Morgan, and went to one of your recitals. So we all do know of each other at least, but still.
Well, I'm saying we haven't, like, hung out, like, we're not having tea parties or anything, like...
We're not rubbing elbows.
Look at her dress. Does that look like someone who'd interact with someone like me?
I'm glad you understand.
So, all of you, or, I mean, I can't for your skill set. And it's still sort of looking at Tuim again, because just pauses, but moves on. You all were selected for the skill set that you have, and in terms of proof, I mean, maybe not all of you can feel it, but you, and points at Morgan, you have to feel that the heart has been found, or like when you get close, maybe. I don't want to put pressure on you. I know this is not something you're as familiar with, but you have to sense that it's nearby, that it's available.
Morgan will take the lap harp out of their bag and give a strum real quick to see what they feel in the resonance.
Roll a I'll say a
or
charm.
Actually, I should say what I'm actually doing, I think. I kind of want to bring whoever John Chimes is talking to the fore. So actually that flavor of resonance. I'm kind of interested in them.
Interesting. Okay. So I'm going to need you. It's still, I think, going to be a charm check because I'm associating charm with kind of your musical skill here.
Charms.
And it's going to be a difficulty of 8, but I believe you have a specific skill.
I do have a particular set of skills, yes. I'm skilled at music. That's a weird thing for a Kids on Bikes game. I'm skilled at music.
Which means you automatically succeed at checks of difficulty 9 or less.
Nice. Charm for Chimes.
Nice.
And it's your own harp. You brought it. You're in a... you're not under an immense amount of pressure in this moment. You're given time to fully cast, though John Chimes doesn't fully understand what you are casting. You strum on this harp, and it resonates with the architecture of this room. And it sort of thrums with it. And those of you who, even if you're not musically inclined, even if you're not corporeal, you can feel the sort of vibration of this room through your body or lack thereof. And you can tell that Morgan is doing something, which can be definitely attested. Their skills are apparent and well-trained. And to the side of John Chimes appears sort of a shifting series of faces, almost like on a cylinder rotation, moving very quickly but also slowly, and each time it makes a rotation, a new face comes around, or new series of faces, and they're all whispering very quietly, one over another, different things. Sometimes they line up, a few of them line up, sometimes they all line up for a few words. And they're just hovering and whispering. And I believe, besides Morgan, Hope, you've heard these whispers before. Not often, but occasionally. Manny, you might have, being a spirit yourself. Tuxim, you have never heard these before. You are muted.
I would
though.
like to spend my words. Cut. Start again. I would like to spend an adversity token to activate one of my skills, intuitive. And I would like to ask about these whispers. What is their purpose and what is their intention?
You may spend one adversity token to ask the GM about your surroundings, an NPC or the like. The GM must answer honestly. So, what is your exact question?
One question.
Per point.
What is their intentions?
Okay, so it's a complicated answer because you can tell each whisper has its own slightly different discrete opinion. So you can tell this is not a monolith of consciousness. But you can tell that John Chimes, though vague and not the best at communicating it, is kind of right. It wants to protect the city. I'll leave it at that.
And I only had the one adversity point. I can't ask a follow-up.
You can later, just gotta fail a roll. That's how this works.
So
thanks, Paula.
So if I've heard these whispers before, what have I heard them say exactly?
Before? Now this makes me shoot my memory back to our first game, but I believe in the street magic scene with the whispers, it was just chiding you about how much you hated it in the whistle tips and how much you hate Gregory. Essentially.
If I remember correctly, it does sound like something I would do as that character, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to remember, but I agree with that one. I think that was it. Yeah. So I'm like, so the immune system.
Yeah. You are all looking at it now, so I'm going to assume you now can see it. Or them, or yeah, and switch around with it. So starting to make more sense. It's a complicated situation. That's sort of why I didn't want to do this with all of you. I'm sorry to do this, but Nordine, roll one more charm.
You're not
This
sorry.
one is difficulty. This is difficulty 6.
And because I spent my my respect from the backpack, I don't have any extra help for this one, do I?
No, you do not.
Let me remove that from my backpack while I'm here. No more respect for me.
Aww.
I mean, you can. I don't think they're one-time spends, though. I am genuinely not sure. I don't think you can use it constantly for.
That makes sense.
For advantage on these rolls, for lack of a better word, but I think you could still have it in your back pocket. That's a 1. Congrats on your new adversity token.
Yay!
Go ahead and take it. He stops for a long time, just looking at you, Tuxim. I'm sorry. Gregory, or I don't remember. Are you Gregory? No, we spoke, right?
I'm going to gently walk over to Hope and place my hand on her shoulder. I thought we had spoken. You have my name right.
One more roll, but that's only. I will allow one more roll. Only if Hope. Are you allowing this to occur? Are you selling this?
Am I selling this? Because I was like, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah, this person just turned to the individual that you have basically just met, though you've heard of perhaps a little bit, and called them by your husband's name, and they are now rolling with it. If you roll with it, they get another chance to roll. If you don't, that one's sticking.
So I'm going to look to Tuxim. It's and comparing Gregory to Tuxim because I don't look alike at all personally in my head. It's
I mean, first of all,
yes. Yeah.
Okay. One last charm roll. Difficulty goes back down to 4 because you are being supported a bit. 5. The D10's really working hard. Okay. You changed your or you got a haircut.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Sorry. That's probably rude of me. I am sorry. You can see the whispers. A lot is happening. Is there anything else you need to know? Are we feeling good about this mission? Are we feeling involved? Up to speed?
I do have one question.
Of course.
Why all the secrecy? Why didn't you just have this meeting to begin with?
Yeah, like I said, the council might not love that this is happening now without approval. So we'll get to that after.
So the bureaucratic red tape is you're bypassing that by doing this.
Plausible deniability. Those are the words I was looking for. Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the most part, Morgan could probably get away with it. Is a minor technically. It would come down to parents that are not human. That would take forever to try and figure out. So it's probably fine, Manny. You're not immortal, so that would be a different system. Hope and Gregory, it's kind of, I want you to be able to keep that high status in the whistle tips, to be able to move up, and it would not happen if you knew everything of what was going on.
It's interesting. I thought that Gregory already had status. Isn't that right, dear?
Well, one can always take more. It's not like I'm on the council.
Mm-hmm. Right, yes.
Lofty goals. I like that. Anything else? Of course, open book now, right? It's going to make things more difficult after, but we can figure it all out. You have my protection, of course.
I think that I know enough, but yes, trash Manny.
So Manny has been sitting with his hands in his vest pockets, just kind of leaning back, listening to all this. And he kind of looks around at the group, looks at John Chime, and he's like, I mean, and he stands up. It's not like I have anything better to do today. Yeah, I mean, the hell with it. Let's go save the city. And then he kind of looks around and no one is and then he's like, yeah. So anyway, sounds good to me. Let's just, I got stuff later, so let's just move this thing along. Yeah?
Yeah. Yes.
Sure.
Also, John Chime, can you step into my office for a second, real quick? Just over here.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Morgan. Or sorry, you go ahead. I'll go.
Okay. Manny pulls John Chime to the side and he says, "Listen, young man. I've seen a lot, and I've done a lot in my day, and I just want to let you know that if anything happens to the kid, I will find you, and you will not be happy when I find you. I don't care about the other two. Take them or leave them, frankly. But anything happens to that kid, it's on you, John Chime. And I'm going to remember. I've been around for a long time, and I have a very good memory, all right? We on the same page?"
Yeah, of course. Morgan is a sweet kid, and if I could choose an adult to do this, I would have, and I will make sure that nothing happens. Absolutely.
Excellent. I appreciate it. And then he'll turn and go, "Hope, Taksim, I just talked with John Chime here. I'm assured of your safety because I'm so excited to be partnering with all of you. So let's move this thing along. Hey, I'm Manny."
That's a cool nickname. So, good to go? Nothing else? Because I gotta head back up.
Yes, Morgan, are you comfortable with this?
If I play everything perfectly, then the city will restart. And if I make a mistake, then everything goes catastrophically wrong.
I'm going to.
Ah!
Is Morgan sitting down?
Yes, I think at the point of harp they sat.
I'm going to walk over and kneel in front of Morgan and look them directly in the eyes. You can do this. You've practiced all your life, and you've already made enough mistakes for your age. You're going to do well. You should know that. I don't know if this is going to activate a role of some kind, but I am skilled at inspiration, and I feel like I'm being inspiring.
I agree. Morgan agrees.
Yeah. Difficulty wouldn't exceed 9. So you just succeed, and I'll say gain a adversity token, Morgan. For free. Why not?
Yay!
Back in this game.
All right.
Yeah.
We don't need the rules. What? Do you all head out?
Yes.
Sure.
Cool. So, Manny, you know where this is. I believe it was mentioned earlier that this was in the Groves, which is a neighborhood on the other side of town, but still in the lower neighborhood area. There are 2 primary ways to get there.
Okay.
There's the straight ahead path, which is through the Discordance. Discordance right now is pretty overrun with measures, which, as a reminder, are those little camp counselors crossed with guards who are just trying to make people happy and checking in, trying to split up any sad-looking groups. And the other option is heading up essentially into the lower portion of the Whistle Tips, which would give you up and over, probably avoiding measures, but you'd be in the Whistle Tips. Those are the 2 main ways to get there.
So with Manny's knowledge of the city, which would be how do I ask the question I want to ask? Which path would we be the most unobtrusive on, so as to draw the least suspicion?
It really depends on how well you think this party can sell being happy.
Okay. Manny will turn to the group.
Well, I'll amend that actually before you say that. Sorry to interrupt. Pretending to be happy is going through the Whistle Tips. You have to fit in, essentially. The lower path, if you get caught by measures, it's the same deal, though they might be a bit more aggressive with where they send you, or just not letting you go the way you want to go if you don't pass that test. But you can try and avoid them. So basically, it's happy versus sneaky. That is the full picture.
Either we're doing social stealth or actual stealth.
Yeah.
Well, our social stealth went so well with Gregory / Taksim.
Right.
I'm entirely unconcerned.
Yeah, I mean, I think Manny will turn to the group and say, all right, as usual in this God's forsaken town, we have a couple of options, both of which, peril, danger, etc., etc. So, all right, do you want to pretend to be happy, or do you want to sneak around dark alleys, passageways, that sort of thing? Dealer's choice. Old man, I'm fine going whichever way you want. Old Manny, I'm a friend to all in the city. I do not care. Which way do you want to go? Somebody choose.
I'm used to smiling and bearing it, so why not?
Should I still play the same part, dear?
If you would like to. You've been doing such a wonderful job so far, Gregory.
Is there a reason why you keep repeating his name like that? Is it like a knife or something?
I hate him. Does that make it clear for you?
What Sure, we'll just... I don't mind here.
Let's talk about that on the way to the whistle tips.
Not
Everybody
unpacking
loves
that right now. Not
a,
at all.
a
Let's
crappy
keep
partner
going.
story. All right, I just want to be very clear. Team Hope all the way. Gregory sucks. We hate Gregory. Okay.
I
all
love to
right.
hear that. Like, oh, that boosts my morale and happiness levels. Thank you. Let's go.
You all start to make your way towards that direction, but the one thing I do mention is Harmonia is an interesting city in that you can't really move throughout the city with immense amounts of ease unless you're on the ground, which, as luck would have it, you all are, because the unsound is on the ground, as is discordance in some of the groves. But in order to get to the whistle tips, it's not an easy journey intentionally. This does require a good amount of vertical movement of some kind. I'd love it if one of you was keen on leading the way up to the whistle tips. There are a bunch of different ways to get there, all of which have their own challenges. So I'd love to hear the preferred method of movement here.
I mean, this place is a city. People move back and forth all the time. So all you have to do is make sure you're moving in the same direction with multiple people who are going to similar spaces. Basically, sure, it's a maze, but certain paths are better tread than others for a reason. So basically following where the school of fishies go.
All right. Hope you were going to say something?
I was just going to say, like, if a navigation through... I can imagine a navigation through the whistle tips and finding a way through them where no one can really be nosy about which group of people are going through. I feel like I would know that at the very least. So there's like a quicker way through that way to get to where we need to go. By all means.
There are some more covert ways of getting between the upper and lower neighborhoods than others. It's not super commonly tread, but there are popular ways, mostly for gossipy spa groups to see the prima donna get crushed without being recognized as being from the upper neighborhoods. And you are aware of some of them. They tend to be the quieter paths, so rope ladders, zip lines, movement that is less detectable mostly. If you take the stairs, for instance, or any sort of elevator, lifts, you're more likely to get questioned as to why you're moving between a district or a neighborhood like the unsound from the whistle tips and vice versa. So you come across one of the taller buildings. So you're at the base of one of the buildings that reaches all the way up to the top of the whistle tips. And there is a rope ladder there that will get you a good amount of the ways up.
Oh, okay.
Would you like me to hold your shoes?
If you wouldn't mind, dear.
I feel like you're taking out your anger on your husband on me, but sure, yeah.
You did this. This is you. But no,
Actually, no, Mr. Chimes did this.
Which is interesting that he seemed to identify you as someone important in the whistle tips, but couldn't quite get the names right, which is a faux pas if I've ever heard it. But I think he was onto something, though.
Maybe Gregory and I have a lot in common.
Right. And I dip down to take my shoes off and then just hold it off. Here, dear.
I'm going to add Hope's shoes to my backpack.
I'm sure they'll come in handy. These are going to be, flight checks, unless you can convince me it's something else. And I'll need a marching order, so who wants to make the first roll? Difficulty for the rope ladder would be 5.
I'll do. Can I argue that taking my shoes gave me a boon of some sort? I can be a bit more freely without my shoes.
Avoided you a disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Did I say 5?
You said, what did you say?
5.
5, yeah.
5. Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, difficulty 5. Flight check. 5. You get a solid start. This is not your preferred method of movement. Since you belong in the Whistle Tips, you wouldn't necessarily need to be as covert returning. Who's next?
I'm gonna
So-
hold. I'm gonna hold on to the rope ladder at the bottom and just help everyone up.
All right,
Well,
Morgan.
I guess not Manny.
We'll get to Manny. Morgan, go ahead and make your difficulty 5 flight.
7.
All right. You glide a little bit easier. How often have you moved between neighborhoods, actually? You tend
I
to
do
spend
recitals
that
in a lot
basement.
of places. Most of the
That's
people
true.
here who know me from recitals, and they're not from the same place.
Understood. So you have some familiarity with moving between neighborhoods, and so you have a bit of a better grip. Hope is moving slowly, which allows you to move sort of with ease and not feel rushed. Manny,
I think so. What I'm envisioning is Manny is in an effort to be helpful, because I think Manny has really sort of taken a shining to Morgan and wants to make sure that they're okay. So Manny is doing like this weird like helicopter parent thing, and he's like floating next to them on the ladder, being like, just watch your foot, you gotta just plant your feet, don't look down, you got it, but like in a way that is like maybe a little much, like maybe it's just a little overboard and is like growing slightly obnoxious. But he's just like really worried about getting this child there safely.
Interesting. I'm gonna make you do a charm roll just to see if this causes any problems. The difficulty is 4.
I got a 4. Swear on my life.
On your D4?
Yes. No, I rolled the wrong dice. Just kidding. It was a D6. Oh, it felt so powerful. And then I was wrong. Just kidding. Hold on. Okay, that was a 1 on the right dice, so it's
Cool.
fine.
Morgan, it's very distracting. It actually, even just interacting with the city, the more you do, since John Chimes pointed out, the city has its sort of rumble to it, a rhythmic, could be a heartbeat, but very, very low and very continuous in a way that mortal heartbeats are sort of staccato. And it's been distracting already, and Manny is right next to your face, just chatting away.
Morgan gets a lot of backseating in their life. They're getting backseat on climbing a ladder.
Yes.
And there's usually a routine on recital day. This is not the routine.
That is correct. So, Tuxim, you're going to have to start climbing shortly. So I want that flight roll from you with that difficulty 5. Morgan, I'm also going to need a grit check.
Beautiful.
Difficulty 4, which we'll get back to. So, Tuxim or Gregory.
God, I hated playing this character the first time around. Now I got to do it twice.
Hey.
So it's here's the thing, friends. I only have a D4 to flight.
Yeah.
Do you want to try and argue a different roll?
Can I scale the actual wall itself instead of trying to just hop up this weirdly unbalanced ladder?
You can try.
Would that be grit, maybe?
It would be, yeah. I'll let it be grit.
That's better.
The difficulty goes up, though, because you were scaling the side of a building when there's a rope ladder there. It would be a 7.
7.
As opposed to a 5.
Oof.
I rolled an 11 plus 1. 12.
Nice.
You start to pass the other 2.
Just climb over them.
No, I'm on their left. I'm just like, on your left. On your left. As I'm scaling a building beside
Just
them.
watching.
And Tuxim, you're pretty much aligned with Morgan when whatever happens next happens. Morgan, would you roll for your grit?
Morgan is an orchid, not a dandelion of a person. Their grit's their D4. No. No.
You can, if you get like a 3, you can
4.
spend
Yeah, you can
those, but-
try points.
I'm sure I could, but why would I deny? Why do you think I gave them this D4 for this moment when they were emotionally overloaded by perfectionism?
Fair enough. By the way, if you failed any rolls in the sequence, be sure to take that adversity token. I may have forgotten to remind, so if you did, do that. So I'm not going to make you fall off of this rope ladder for many reasons. But I would like to know what magical burst comes off of you when you finally shouted everything to stop. Knowing that Hope is directly above you and Tuxim is directly beside you, and you all are probably, you're not going super, super high, probably like 100 feet off the ground, which in Harmonia is low-ish. But you're about halfway there at this point.
At this point in our climb, the rope ladder is taut with our body weight, like a string, and the frustration from Morgan begins to vibrate into the rope, yes, but just as importantly, into the building to which the rope is connected, resonance to resonance. And there are anchors at the top of that rope, and the GM is responsible for making bad things happen, not me. That one isn't on me. I just point out the physical structures of a rope. I'm innocent of all crimes.
Cool. Let's see here. I wasn't expecting to roll. Honestly, I was just expecting to talk, but I think I do need to roll here to see how poorly this goes. So give me just one moment. Ooh,
or how
okay.
awesome it goes.
No, it's the former. So Hope, from below you, you start to feel a thrumming through the rope as if it's buzzing. And Tuxim, you feel a similar buzz in the building, and you can hear it. And it's very clearly emanating from Morgan, who seems to be, I hope you can't really see from where you are, but Tuxim seems to be under a lot of stress at the moment. Probably more than you realized in the meeting. It's sort of been thrumming beneath. And I'm going to need Morgan and Hope to make flight rolls. I can't remember the word for it in Kids on Bikes, but this is the kind of roll that if failed has pretty trash consequences.
Oh, is it like the unplanned, or like the?
No, it is a snap decision. This is further than a snap decision. This is
okay.
The one that if you fail, it could lead to injury or problems.
Oh, cool.
Can I quickly use my foot to steady the rope ladder?
Oh, one of the ropes of the 2 rope and slats is dropping.
Yeah, so can I use my foot to hold it in place against the wall while I'm just stuck there like a crab?
You'd have to hold up both their body weights with inward pressure towards. I don't think you can, but you can try and grab one of them if things go wrong. If they start dropping.
Okay, prepare myself to catch.
The flight roll is to grab the rope that is not going to drop.
Okay.
And just be holding onto the rope.
What's the difficulty?
Ooh, that's a great question. The difficulty is going to be 6.
I am very glad I'm not on that damn rope.
Oh man.
Thank you, Manny, for your encouragement.
I really just thought I was adding some flavor. I didn't know I was going to accidentally kill everybody. It's fine. I made my choices.
I got a 5.
Join us on 10 Candles, where none of us will be playing any characters. It's just going to be Game of 4 wins.
We all just instantly die.
You got a 5 short of a 6. Ambrose, do you have an adversity token you can spend?
I mean, I just got a second one, so if I could use the one I just lost to re-roll,
you can also buy with adversity tokens 1 point up from your rolls. So you could buy up to if you have 2, you can buy to 7 from your 5.
Can I?
One for one.
Okay, then I can just do that. Yeah, I'll do
Yeah,
that.
that's always a rule, and you can do it for friends as well. That's how helping works, but only if it's a planned action. So in this case, with the exception of Tuim, who said that they were preparing to do this, can't respond by helping with tokens.
So I'll just use one to make it, to match it, essentially.
All right.
I rolled a 2 first round, so I'm spending 2 for lucky.
All right. Let me check. Lucky may spend 2 adversity tokens to re-roll a stat check.
That's cocked. And that's a 6.
Nice.
Excellent. And you've been using your easygoing where you've been gaining 2 instead of 1 on your failed rolls?
Yeah, that's what got me up to 5.
Excellent. All right. So it seems both of you have barely, as this rope snaps, managed to shift your weight and grab onto the other rope, sliding. Both of you slide like one slat, and then your hands catch on where the slats have connected to the rope and held you in place. Tuim, is there something you want to do since neither of them dropped? You now are able to do something if you'd like to help them out, because climbing a straight rope is a lot harder.
How close am I to the top?
Y'all were about halfway up when this happened.
I'm going to tell them to hold on, and I'm going to rush up as fast as I can to the top so I can yank them up the other rope.
If you're going fast, Tuim.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You said as fast as I can. Is that still what you want?
As swift as my body can carry me, I think is the answer. Because
could Manny float to the top and hold on to the rope to provide an assist? Because he's not doing anything. He's just chilling. And I can interact with stuff.
You can interact with stuff, but we've also established that it seems that the baseline is not interacting. So you'll probably have to roll to be able to touch the rope.
Okay.
Because you have the benefit of floating upwards. So I think this is where that comes back. Tuim, you are scrambling up. So I will say a failure of the roll I'm going to make you make isn't you falling, it's you not being fast enough. Because you already have a handle on this climb. So you're going to make a flight check, difficulty of 5. And Manny, I'd love to know from your perspective what stat you need to roll to be able to touch rope.
What a good question.
I'm thinking grit or brains. Brawn also.
Oh, yeah, I'm grit. Maybe.
It's is it a mental block for us?
Yeah, it's he has to really want it,
Then I would say
it takes a lot of focus and determination. Because he's an old ghost. He's he hasn't done this in a while. So grit, I guess.
As
same.
far as focus and determination goes, as Hope and I cling to the straight rope, I will say, for all that Morgan was kind of irked at Manny, the way that a teenager is irked at a parent, and then something bad and scary happens, and the first instinct is, Manny, help.
Oh.
Now I have to. I'm so gritty and determined now.
Yeah, so that would be a grit roll, difficulty of 6. Tuim, that was a 1. Your feet just keep slipping. You're catching yourself because this is grit and you have a good amount of grit. It is not painless, this climb. But you can't seem to gain any speed. Every time you try and go for a faster climb, you slip. So you have to go back to prioritizing not falling 50 feet. So you're not moving very fast at all, but you are moving. Manny.
I got a 5 plus 1 is 6.
Getting a lot of bareleys in here.
Yeah, I
I
don't
know,
like
this
that.
is a barely, this is a
Doesn't feel
barely boy.
safe.
Y'all are scrambling. So yeah, you are able. It was hard at first. It was difficult. You haven't tried to touch things in a while because it's comedically better if you don't.
Okay.
And so that's become the ease,
Yeah.
the baseline. And then you hear Manny help from below you. And that's when you feel the rope, which is probably the first thing you felt in a while, like physically. And you have a hand on it, so if it does drop 2, you'll be able to keep that from happening.
Okay.
You can attempt to pull it up if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll try it. Can't hurt anything, right? Well, is that... What do you think, brawn or grit?
That's brawn or fight, probably. More than likely brawn. You're lifting 2 people.
Yeah, let's go with brawn. I'm a burly ghost. I'm a burly,
Difficulty
burly.
7 because it's 2 full people.
Oh, okay.
Morgan's small, right?
A people and a half.
I got an 8, but now I'm afraid it's the wrong dice. No, that's an 8. I just never get good rolls in this game. That's an 8.
An 8 on a D8.
Yeah.
So in
Oh, it explodes! No, shit! God damn it.
Explosions.
Okay, so it explodes and I roll again, right?
So you roll
I
again and
forgot
add that. You add that total to the 8.
Okay. So it's like 8 plus whatever I'm about to roll? Okay.
Mhm.
It's a 7.
That's a 15.
All right.
That's a lot.
So you rolled a 15 on a difficulty 7 bronze.
Manny!
This is a D8, right? Yeah, okay.
With the power of protection.
Manny heard that. Manny heard that. Like Manny helped me, and now Manny like wants to do good. He hasn't had like a reason to do anything for a really long time. He's just been ghosting around.
So Manny, you're at the top here, which is basically a balcony ledge, like a balcony without the railing, and that's where the rope was connected.
Okay.
And you put a hand on the rope, and you can see Tuim is 3/4 of the way up. Like by the time you get this fully lifted, Tuim will be there to help get these people onto the balcony.
Cool.
What does it look like for you to single-handedly lift a people and a half up after not touching anything for so long?
Yeah, I think so. Like Manny sort of materializes out of this sort of like blue cast, like see-through form into like much more of like a human top, like the genie in Aladdin. And then so you see these like big burly forearms just like straining at this rope, but then these like little ghost feet like kicking in the air to like try and like get like the rope like up, and he's like pulling on it. And he's like, "Come on, hold on! I'm doing my best. I haven't done this in a really long time. Climb faster!"
All right. So, this is going to come down to, So Hope and Morgan, you're being lifted, and you're able to hold your grip, but it's not fun. But you reach the top around the time Tuim does. And all 4 of you are going to roll brawn checks, and I need the total difficulty, let's see here, to exceed 12. Because all of you are using all of your strength to get onto this balcony.
Well, I got a 2, so
I got a 4,
7.
and it explodes, right? So I get to roll again.
That is correct.
Yeah. I got another 4. So it explodes again. This is great. All right, so 9 then.
All right, Morgan?
I have so many nice qualities.
Dude, you're funny, you're smart, you're charming.
I don't roll a good brawn check, but other things, and also thank you.
So that would be a 2, because you do get a +1 to brawn.
I do. So
So,
there's
Morgan and Manny both getting 2s. Manny, you are exhausted. That was hard.
That's not good.
So you were sort of just floating around, making sure everything happens. And Morgan, this is terrifying.
Just clinging to the rope like a cat being pulled out of a river.
Oh.
But with a group total of 18 over 12, mostly with Hope and Tuxim, maybe fueled by spite, maybe not. Maybe that's on Hope's end.
Can I?
Yes,
see what it
please.
looks like on my end? It does look like spite, but also like frustration, but also worry. So I would say that as like I get to the top, one elbow on the edge, I grab down for Morgan and then just yank this child up because I'm frustrated.
By the scruff.
By the scruff.
I grab one of Morgan's shoulders shortly after Hope does, and then lift him up too. But my face is impassive. It's like I've been through this before.
And you've made it up to the whistle tips. And I think this... Oh, I see a breath. Does anyone want
No more rope ladders.
And with that, we'll take another quick break. See you all soon, everyone. Hello, everyone. Where we last left off, our whole party almost died. I think that's enough recap, right? Like, everyone survived almost falling off of a 100-foot drop. Anyway, everyone in this group is trying to make it to the lower parts of the Whistletips neighborhood, the top neighborhood of Harmonia, to try and cut a clearer path to the Grove on the other side of the city, where apparently there's the city's heart that needs to be restarted. A lot of lore happened in part 2 of this. So you all just got pulled up to this balcony, and you are now, I would say, quite barely in the Whistletips, but entrance to the Whistletips altogether, especially residents there, is very, very hard to achieve. And if you're at the lowest level, it means you have a lot to lose. So you found yourself on this balcony entrance to essentially seems to be like a brunch restaurant mixed with one of those Instagram museums where each wall has its own like different decor. So it's very patchwork, and depending on where your table is, you're having a different aesthetic to brunch. And everyone is dressed to match their little section of this restaurant. And no one seems to be too bothered by your entrance at first. Everyone is very, very absorbed in their conversation, putting on the same 3 facial expressions that are aligned with the same 3 emotions. Hope you remember this.
Oh yeah.
This was never fun. No one liked this. And it's almost as if, even though you hear the sort of murmur of a bunch of different conversations happening on top of each other, somehow it feels like they're all saying the same things at the same time. With nods and oh, and yeah, and those sort of listening sounds being wafted in on top of whatever conversations are happening at each table. And it is, there's so little humanity in this room. And honestly, there's very few spirits in this room. Where normally every corner, every little nestled nook of an alleyway has something living in it, as there are a lot of spirits in Harmonia, and people just made that more crowded. It's quiet in a different way. Morgan, you notice this probably the most, but Tuxim, spirits are aplenty in the lower neighborhood, so it is a bit weird. But that's not what you're thinking about when you look over this little eatery. Until you leave, well, first, I'll make you roll. I'll make you roll first. Why don't you tell everyone here what your fear is?
Hi, my name is Tuxim. I fear conformity.
Oh no.
But this place is really about the... Oh.
Yeah, I'm fucked. What happens when Yeah. Go ahead.
So simply identical performances of individuality. Like, that is what you were looking at. But what were you asking?
What happens when a fear has been activated?
I was going to have you roll, but I think this just is what it is. You can only make snap decisions, which in a mechanical sense, people can't really help you with the rolls that you make, because everything is kind of amped up. You also can't help anyone else. And you're going to take a penalty to all your rolls, which I think in this case is going to depend on an answer to a question I'm going to ask you. Have you ever... What happened the last time you went to the Whistle Tips?
I visited my brother, and we had an out. We had it out. We had a row. He wanted to be, and I wanted to exist. And those are significantly different things. It's funny, because he used to look practically the same as me, but now we couldn't be more further apart. He changed his name. He changed his look. He changed his identity just to fit in with this.
So it was more of a private encounter and not a pleasant one. I'm pretty sure you did some work to avoid these kinds of places in the Whistle Tips. You're going to take a +2 penalty to any roll you make while you were in this neighborhood.
Okay.
Or +2. I think I said -2, obviously. The rest of you, how are you feeling up here? Hope, it's like coming back to an old university. Like, you remember the pain and suffering of this place, but it's also a little bit nostalgic.
Yeah, so it feels a lot like the nostalgia of like kind of sliding directly into, oh hey, these three faces. The and faces is the best way to put it. I immediately reach my hand out to Tuxim for my shoes because this is a restaurant, no shoes, no shirt, no service kind of situation. So not even looking, just like may grabby hands in this direction.
I just, like, staring out at them, kind of shell-shocked, I pull out a thermos and just put it in her hands.
And I turn to Maxime. This is not shoes.
Oh, right, I have the shoes. Sorry.
Take it easy. It is what it is.
Everything's fine. And I'm gonna Tuxim's they're gonna wipe their hand over their face, and now I would like to actually use a skill of mine. I'd like to spend an adversity token to ignore the sphere.
Let me
and
see
I don't
here.
need your permission to do so because I'm heroic.
You do not need the GM's permission to spend adversity tokens to ignore fear.
Yep.
That's what it says. Yeah, okay.
So it's like you see the shaken nature, there's a hand over the face, and suddenly, like, it's the same impassivity you saw when he was pulling the rope. It's almost like painfully stubborn. And he hands over your shoes and takes back the thermos. See? Fine.
Right. Quickly slides them on. Anyway, don't draw any attention. Let's just get through. Smile if you have to, nod if you have to. Don't say anything, please.
Manny closes his open mouth.
Like literally, I think it literally doesn't even look at Manny. Just like points in Manny's direction. Right. Get through this as quick as possible. No problems. No worries. Good. And then I start walking through with a large smile on my face.
I'm going to need a charm roll for everyone to get through the Whistle Tips. Before you roll, if you haven't already, it's fine. But before you roll, would you like this to be a group check or would you like it to be individual?
Group check.
Group
check,
I would like
please.
the group, yeah.
All right, but the difficulty is going to be 18 because if you're all together, it doesn't look great. That's the added difficulty, like, of all your numbers added together. That's an 8 from Tuxim.
Oh, is this like skill of deception? Would that work in this situation?
Oh, 100%.
So if the GM determines that you do need to roll for a more difficult check, add +3 to your roll.
That is correct.
I got a 7.
7. Manny got a 2.
I got a 2.
10.
10.
Also
And
10.
another 10. So that would be a 29 over 18. I would like to know from, let's do Hope because Hope, this is your home. Though Morgan, feel free to jump in. how do you save Manny from himself?
What is Manny doing exactly? Is Manny just floating, but is like the only spirit, and that's like the only thing that's like the big alert for everybody, or is it like Manny's actually talking and
I think
floating and curious?
I think Manny is still like partially materialized from the adrenaline of hoisting the rope. So you know when you put a dog in shoes and they do that like giraffe walk, it's like that where he's trying to like make it look like his feet are walking. But he hasn't really needed feet in at least a couple hundred years. And so he's maybe struggling a little bit, but like he's doing his best. And from like I would say the shins up, he looks pretty human.
I would say while this is happening, trying to do this weird in-air giraffe walk situation, grabbing Manny, since you're partially materialized, by your collar, and tugging you along as if like you're with me. And then any person that is curious and wondering what's going on, it's like, oh, redirecting. Gonna be using energy from this one. For a couple of things in the house. So don't worry about it. Don't like, this is a quick thing. It's kind of last ditch effort. Yeah, it's nice to meet you. Oh, you look lovely. I love that color, even though you're matching with everything. It seems like that's the only color you're good at, right? It's like, all right, cool. No, that's good. Oh, you're wonderful too. Love that.
I just have I'm sorry, I can't get past this. Is this like a reservations only sort of establishment? Because everyone's dressed in the theme of like the booth, which would infer that they knew where they were going to sit ahead of time.
You just
which means
know, my dear. You just know, my dear.
Know? I don't. Oh,
Mhm.
fashion. I never understood it.
You just know.
I'm
You find out
sorry.
what the assignment is, and you pick one of those areas. It's okay. It's a whole process.
Okay, that sounds deeply complicated, and I hate it. Moving on.
Of this brunch place to what looks like the interior of a mall, and you realize that you're sort of in this weird collection of social spaces that kind of resemble how a mall is laid out, but far more vertically. And if you look up, you can see it goes up many stories, but you're just going horizontal. Morgan, how are you treating this space?
Well, after peril, when the tension has left and the adrenaline's starting to go down, have you ever gotten the giggles? Let me rephrase. Have you ever seen a ghost non-corporeally dressage stepping right after you existed in peril and have the giggles? Morgan's actually just like, they're glad they have Manny here, and it's kind of funny. And for all that this place seems to be a little bit more about the smile you have to put on, there's not really anything you can say against actual happiness.
In fact, the people that pass you, your group, do look on you with a tinge of confused jealousy. Like, the people here kind of know that no one here's happy because happiness exists higher up. You just have to fake it till you make it. To see someone genuinely excited to be down here is like, you're selling this well, kind of thing. Like, okay, I need to figure out what they're doing. And you all keep moving, and since this is a mall, you're able to sort of keep to the hallways, which is easy to just pass through. A lot of people are moving in and out. You can kind of disappear. And on the other side, once you're getting closer to the groves, you see sort of a spirit punk eco-themed high-end clothing store that seems to have an escalator that might be able to get you down to the groves as sort of an entrance that can make some money. As you're moving through, Tuxim, with your 7, how are you selling this?
There's this light, congenial air, almost like you know, he's passing through on his way to Sunday brunch. There's nods to various people who don't know him and who they don't know. And his eyes slip from person to person like none of them are real. It's just so wonderful to see you. There's also like the straight backedness that you get when someone who's like holding back. So there's this face full of just normalcy, and then there's this resisting to just blow up. Because this place sucks. Can I just say this place sucks?
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place, and everyone loves it.
There is a gift store to go to the groves.
And the stuff there's pretty cool looking. You all make it through, and luckily enough, the escalator takes you right to the grove. It is the high-end part of the grove, but Merendo Mount, which is where you're all headed, isn't necessarily a lower neighborhood spot. It's kind of in between, as everyone from the upper and lower areas of Harmonia do visit occasionally in the hopes that a spirit of some kind will come back. So you all open up into the groves. And as you descend this escalator in the like spirit punk Dolce Gabbana outlet that you're in, you open up into basically what those photos of like reclaimed modern architecture look like when nature reclaims things, but sort of working much more harmoniously with the atmosphere. You see fewer, besides the escalator you're on, most of the transportation between buildings is zip lines and rope ladders disguised or covered with vines. There are some spiral staircases and spiral ramps. A lot of things just looking more natural and more designed for the space that you're occupying. It's like vertical Central Park in a way, and a moment where suddenly spirits have returned to the space you're in, where it was eerily missing for the entirety of this mall journey. The sounds and the music just that happen on the air without the man-made instruments to guide them have returned. Now, Manny, you know where to go. For the most part. You know where Merendo Mount is, and you know about the gate. So you guide everyone there. Does anyone want to do anything during this walk through a genuinely beautiful place? And you actually notice, too, that it's hit about mid-afternoon, late afternoon, and it is warm, 70-degree day. It's sunshiny. People are out. People are having a good time. But Morgan, you do sense that heartbeat has gotten louder.
What's the heart rate? Relaxed? Fast? Feathery?
Interesting question. It's light. It's not staccato the way mortal heartbeats are. It's more the other one. It's more prolonged beats. It's more harmonious with the city itself, so it's hard to determine exactly when they come in, but it's definitely been ramping up speed very slowly since you first noticed it.
I would like to spend a point of, spend an adversity token to ask you a question.
Sure.
If we do nothing, what will happen to Merendo Mount?
Someone's going to get to that heart first. The world where nothing happens is short-lived. If you all do nothing, that's going to come down to John Chimes and whoever else is pulling the strings, which you have a theory on who that might be.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for that. So, Hope, everything you dreamed of being up here?
In a way, yes. In a way, no.
You realize how they talk about you down there, right?
Of course. And I don't blame them. I was once down there. And then I made my way up here.
Why does it matter?
To be up here?
Yeah, I mean, who cares?
I did.
Why?
My family kept on going through the same things, struggling day in and day out, trying to make ends meet. And it wasn't just my family, it was every family before, my entire line. No one wanted to move forward, and I did. But I thought that if I moved up one level, and that would be enough. And then it was just, you've heard of the what is it called again? The crab method, the crab basket, where you latch on and you pull people down. Think of it inverted. They keep on pulling you up as soon as you get one level up, and then someone notices you and they just keep digging their claws in and pulling you further up. And yeah, life is a lot better. The clothing's a lot nicer. You have more things, more resources. But you can't feel the way you want because you go missing, you get moved down. Pick a thing. And then this genuine happiness is at the top. Really? I don't believe that. That's the case. How many? Yes.
No, go ahead. Finish.
No one has been able to prove that. But that the fortunate few verify it. But this whole thing's a lie. So how can I trust them? So I just stay here.
How do you know the boundaries of light? It's ringed with shadow. The denial of who we are, of our pain, of our sadness, it means none of us can be happy.
None of us can be sad either. So we're just in this nice little limbo, aren't we?
It doesn't have to be like that.
Then what would a wonderful world or perfect world look like to the great Tuim, whose face I've sworn I've seen before?
I'm not the great one in my family. Hope. And I take one of Hope's hands in mine, and I clutch it. Almost like I'm trying to give her the strength I have. In my perfect world, we would all hurt less. Our families wouldn't be as broken. Our lives wouldn't be as banal. And perhaps most importantly, we would still fear. We would still be in pain. But we could reach out when we needed it, and most importantly, we could finally be happy.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
And I will make it happen. Or at least, I'll die trying.
You shouldn't say such things. And I take my hand back, slowly. Oh, yes, feeling. That's nice. Can we get back on with it, please?
Hope, you just had a pretty honest conversation.
I did have a very honest conversation. That was uncomfortable.
Unfortunately, I hate to be a party
wait.
but
you got me.
Do you want to tell the audience your fear that you put in before we started?
Hello, everyone. My name is Hope, and I'm afraid of fear. My fear is honesty. Sorry, I'm afraid of fear. Obviously, we all are.
So your fear is honesty. So unless you spend an adversity token right now, you're getting a -1.
For the story.
for now.
For now.
Until I say you don't.
I'll take the -1.
Okay. Only make staff decisions. You can't help people. That was stressful as all hell. And it's probably the first time you said it out loud. You all, while this was happening, you all were walking, and you make it to Morendo Mount, which is not really a mountain. It's not even really a hill. It's a small pond. People just started calling it that because that's what the spirits called it. No one really understood why. It's between two buildings. You kind of peek through an alley and you see just this expanse of essentially a very small pond, surrounded by greenery, kind of in this little nook between buildings, like you found kind of a secret park. Though it's not really a secret, there's a lot of people here. The water is somehow crystal blue, despite it being very difficult for a water this low down to be this low down in Harmonia to be reflecting the sky. It's sort of blue of its own accord. And there's a small waterfall that comes off of a balcony at a higher building that's coming down and hitting a few instruments on the way down, which sort of the mortal-made instruments augment the natural melodies of this space. Man, you see something slightly different. You see all of that, but in the center, almost the center, closer to you all, there's a gate, like an archway that's sticking out of the water. It's made of wood, seemingly, and painted a bunch of different pastel colors. And itself is sort of, the noise that you're hearing, the spirit sounds that are being harmonized with are coming from that. And you can also see that the gate stretches down into the water and just peeks up slightly over it.
All right, so the tuning fork to get through, right? Is that what that is?
Do we know that for sure?
The tuning fork has a water droplet carved into it, and John Chimes did confirm that it's how you get in.
Yeah.
Didn't give more information. And Manny, you're the only one that can see the gate, as only spirits can see it.
Oh, okay. That's
so
why I was
we just see water. Is that like so? We just
just a little pond. It's pretty, and there's music coming from somewhere. But the spirits kind of always do that. But Manny, you see the gate, and you also see something under the water beneath the gate. It's kind of hard to see.
I reach my hand out towards Hope. I'm assuming your shoes are gonna have to come off.
Oh, wow. So quick to know what's going on. I like that here.
How different it... Never mind. And I put them back in my bag.
Thank you.
Kind of shoes are they?
Why would you... Oh, well, you know what? I forgot what like the brand is, but like the red bottom heels.
Okay.
Louboutins?
Like just fancy.
I don't know if they're Louis Vuitton, but like
Louboutins. Sorry.
Louboutins. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So like the $400 to $600 shoes that I dream about, but I definitely would not spend that much money to actually buy. Yes, those.
Very cool.
So yeah, I would say those. Don't want to get those messy.
No.
And would I have to wade into the water or?
Well, so Manny, you're starting to pick up on the fact as everyone's sort of standing, staring at this water. They're not looking at the gate. They're kind of looking past it, and they're looking confused.
Okay. Yeah, so Manny will sort of clear his throat from the background. Because Manny's been uncharacteristically quiet this whole time, and I think it's because even for Manny, the groves are sort of a place where there's like a sacredness to them, and Manny feels, especially being a spirit, just sort of very connected to Harmonia here. So he's been kind of just like quietly letting people have their space in the back. But he'll step forward and he'll sort of gesture grandly at his now he's just like a torso. It's like fading slowly. He'll sort of gesture at the gate and be like, well, it's right. None of you can see this, can you? This is okay. Well, there's a gate. It looks, and he will like describe kind of, like the alt text version of the gate. And then be like, do you want me to try the tuning fork? Do you want to do it? I can just sort of position you. I don't want to like take away your moment. You know, you had a job, so.
I mean, you can you pick up the tuning fork? Because I think it's just a matter of, I'm assuming just the sound would be enough to unlock it. Correct?
I mean, I could try. See how I do.
All right.
Grit difficulty 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like open it up like this. What is it? It was like with like cloth.
It was
right?
wrapped in blue and green silk.
Yes. Okay. So like peel back
that's
the
a
silk.
7.
Awesome.
Yeah, you grab it. You grab it so good.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
you grab things all the time.
Yeah, it's great. And like in that moment of confidence, he'll like it goes like a little bit down. So now he's like hips, and so he's corporeal that much. So he'll grab it, and just kind of I guess like just walk to the middle of the gate. I guess I don't.
Yeah, you see Manny glide on water, just up to this, and then just stop suddenly in the pond.
And to the outside observer, it would be hard to tell whether or not he was being facetious. But for those who know Manny, knows that he's being 100% serious, and he does this like ridiculous flourish, and he like brings up his thing, and he just very like ping, onto the fork, and then like waits expectantly, like not too bad for the trash ghost, huh?
The
Once you're
vibrations.
done, Manny.
The vibrations immediately start harmonizing with the music of Morendo Mount, which is augmented by these instruments that the humans have placed here to make this place even more. There's even more strength to the music of this space. And the water itself starts to vibrate and jump and move with the sound of the tuning fork sort of helping with. You can actually see as you, Manny, approach this gate that there's a bunch of small holes carved into this wooden gate that wind has been passing through to sort of make it into its own wind instrument. And hitting it up against it has even just changed the key slightly of the wind instrument. And the water starts to part where you all are standing. And a staircase is revealed that passes straight through the gate, which you all can see now partially. It's as corporeal as Manny is. But the stairs are very real.
Onward, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we come this far, might as well see what happens, you know?
Morgan. Ultimately, this is your decision to make.
My grandparents said they'd be here. But I
And
was
I
supposed to
suppose
tell
we'll see
them
them.
where I was going.
I suppose we'll see them through the gate.
Tuxim,
Yes.
are we doing the right thing?
He reaches, like, around his neck and pulls out a small golden chain and unclasps it and puts it in not Hope's. Wow. Puts it in their hand. Puts it in Morgan's hand. I have no idea. Sometimes you do things because it will force things to change. Sometimes you do things because what else can you do? Sometimes it's not about right and wrong. It's about holding on to what you have and hoping for better. That belonged to my mother. She never made it here. I don't know why. Onward we go then.
You all You all head down the stairs, and Morgan, that heartbeat is becoming much more present, to the point that the rest of you actually start hearing it. It's very, very deep. So you don't really hear it so much as you feel it under your feet, especially Hope being shoeless, as it grows with intensity as you descend further and further into Mirando Mount. And you come into this sort of... The stairs themselves are made of stone, and it sort of arches over you as you walk through this stone hallway beneath the waters. And it opens up into a stone room, about the size of the one that John Chimes brought you into earlier. And instead of there being a single table in the middle of that room, there's a single wooden piano. And right as you enter this room, the water returns to where it was, except it does not enter this room. It just stays as a wall in front of the door.
Manny is gonna look over at Morgan and be like, you okay, kid?
They move in close enough that maybe Hope and Taksim couldn't hear, and I'm scared I'm gonna mess up and ruin everything.
Morgan, come here. I have spent so many hours in that dusty practice room, hiding in the walls, listening to you. Do you know why? Because you're talented, and you're good at things, and you're great at this. And I know that you work so hard to do the right thing, and you work so hard to learn the magic and the spells that you need to, and it's not easy. Piano is that's you got to use all 10 fingers. That's not, I can't do that. I can barely use one. You know what I'm saying? I play like this. And so Morgan, listen, you were talking earlier about how you have a process for, recital day, but this don't have to be a fancy recital. It don't have to be, the weight of the world on your shoulders. You're one of the most joyous kids I know. You have so much joy and so much love in your playing. So just go over there, doodle out a tune, and if you mess up, well, the world ends. But, it's a crazy story. And that's fine. Listen, if you die, you can just hang out with me forever, all right? So either way, it's win-win. You get to hang out with Manny all the time, or you save the city and you're a hero. That's a win-win in my book, kid. And then he will attempt to pat them on the shoulder, but it phases through. And he's like, it lasted as long as I needed it to. Damn it.
Can Morgan hum for Manny's sympathetic resonance enough to give him a hug?
Aw.
Without effort.
Now go get him. Or just, I don't know, just play the rudest song you know. Do you know anything with real dirty words? Because that'd be a really good story too, I'm just saying.
They take their music out of their pack. Question for the group. We've heard a lot of music and we've traveled together. And you can often kind of see if someone inherently has rhythm, tuning, anything like that. Who do you think is the most musical one in the group? Which one of you feels like you are?
I think Taksim has given speeches that this crew knows nothing about, has stood in grand spaces with organ music, and might have a good amount of musicality within them.
I would feel like Hope would feel like she would be. I don't think she actually is. So I think that like she's been a high critique of music because that's kind of one of the only things you can do in the Whistle Tips. So has an ear for it, but never made it herself. So it could just be like, I know what to look here and look for, but maybe. So I don't know if competing with Tuxim on that, which one would be a better fit. So
I think Manny is very musical, but in a different way. Like Manny has been around for a long time. And so Manny knows like the old songs and like the old ways. And he's like been there and he's like heard the songs as they've sort of like changed from like, oh, you play it like this, do you play it like that? To like as they've like evolved and changed and grown into things. And so I think he has a very like musical awareness. But I don't know if that's like the same thing as being like a talented musician. So that's my offer.
There is a piece of Morgan that pauses as they leave the hug, as if they profoundly want to ask Manny something, but alas, this particular task does call for some corporeal. They take out their sheet music and turn back. I need a page turner.
Those ghosts. Oh, I'm nope.
I take out my thermos, open up the cap, pour some tea out, place it on the wooden piano, and hike up my trousers and sit on the bench.
it's assumptive of you. Okay, whatever. Continue.
Just right on the piano, Jesus.
The things that has just done to me, Sam. All right.
It's wood. It'll survive. Takes a sip of the tea.
Or the world ends and none of us do.
You and I both know.
All right.
And whatever happens next, it's not our fault.
But if we save it, it should be to our credit.
I wish we lived in that world. Now, let's begin.
Morgan,
Yes.
I'm going to need you to make a charm roll within your specialty of music. And the difficulty is going to be 13.
Okay, all right.
It's a planned action. Help can be spent. And you have a +3 simply by being good at this. As you're rolling, Tuxim,
Mm-hmm.
you have a matchbox in your bag.
I do.
Oh yeah.
And just reminding you, let me know if there's anything you want to do during any of this.
I really wish I had an adversity token right now. But right now, there's nothing.
Is it possible? Sorry, question. And this might be wrong, so I apologize if I do not understand this game. But can I give my adversity token to Tuxim?
Depending on what Tuxim's doing, if it's a snap decision, no. If it's a planned action, yes.
It would be to activate a skill, which is not a thing you can share.
It's fine.
Yeah. And the tokens can only be exchanged for the point value that they equal out to. And Tuxim, you do remember when you spoke to Colossus earlier, mentioning sort of a similar rhetoric to what John Chimes was talking about, that if the other ones get there first, things could be catastrophic. And you're not entirely sure who to believe, or if you believe both. But you know what's in your bag. Morgan. Oh, yes.
As I sit down, there's like a little click because the case has been opened in my backpack next to me, and I've hidden the match somewhere on my person instead.
Okay.
Nice.
Morgan. What'd you roll?
I hadn't yet.
You got this. Come on. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
You have a +3 already.
Linear probabilities are scary.
It's honestly at this point a 50-50 shot because it's a 13.
It is. It's a 10 and then plus a
D20.
13. Yeah. Well. Okay. Let's go. Oh my! I'm not okay. Oh, Tell me we can actually.
Nat 20? Did you roll a nat 20?
Yes.
You rolled a nat 20.
I didn't even touch it. I just pick up the try.
But
You
it
rolled a nat
explodes.
20.
But it explodes, so you can roll it
amazing.
again.
Oh
It does in fact explode.
Wait.
40. Get another
contextually,
one.
That's kind of scary.
Get
A
another
little.
one.
Oh, sorry.
The amount you succeed by is important. Now, technically, and for those who might notice this, if your roll succeeds on its own, it only explodes if that roll, the second roll, would create a success from a failure. I already told the players I was house ruling that out for the chaos that this scenario has brought us. So yes, the dice does explode. Go ahead and do another roll.
What'd you
Are you
get?
kidding
What'd you
me?
get? What'd you get? What'd you get?
No
What'd you get?
way.
Oh.
A 1.
Two ends of the spectrum, baby.
And it's such a good flavor. It's such good flavor. Like, I know numerically, like, the thing happens, but also just there's a flavor of 1 somewhere in there, and that's even more exciting.
Oh,
Not
there
a lot of people
100%
know that,
is.
but that's how Freebird was written. So
So that's a 24 off a 13.
Mhm.
And I will say where the 1 takes place is that you're playing slower than you normally would.
Mm.
You're within tempo, but it's on the slower side. It'd be noticeable to your grandparents, and you're aware you're doing it, but you've kind of already set the tempo, and this piece kind of stays pretty steady and only ramps up very slowly at the end. And so you're kind of stuck with what you've established without risking more mistakes. So you do have them over your shoulder in your mind, unfortunately not literally yet, criticizing you because you've made that mistake before, but seems to be going fine. But it's taking a little while. Tuxim. Actually, all of you, more corporeal consensus, more. The room itself is starting to hum and vibrate with every keystroke. First off, it was playing along with Morgan, and now it's starting to harmonize. And you can feel the piano itself humming and singing and responding with an immense amount of power to this piece. Morgan's doing incredibly.
Tuxim joins in, humming an old similar tune in a bass baritone.
And the song continues, and you feel, all of you, again, Manny, this is up to you if you feel it, but the rest of you feel emotions that have been bottled up, the ones that you don't access, the ones that you don't look for, either because they're not productive or because they're simply illegal, are bubbling up. And you feel them being pulled through you almost to the surface. Some of you might even find yourselves crying involuntarily just from the feelings being sort of pulled out through your body. And you're all sort of running this emotional gambit that each key, each hit of the keys brings you to a different state, almost like you're going on. I think all 3 of you that aren't Morgan. Morgan, you know this feeling. This is part of playing, but it's more profound now. The other 3 of you feel like you're being run through sort of an emotional slideshow of your very soul, of every feeling you've ever wanted to and didn't want to feel. And it's just moving through with this music in a way you've never experienced before. It's very much out of your control, and it's like your life flashing before your eyes, but slowly, melodically, and only every feeling you've ever felt. It's starting to ramp up in tempo as it approaches a more drawn out with this slowdown finale. Tuxim, if you want to make a move, this is the only chance, as everything around the room starts shaking and humming, and you're sure that the city itself must be responding to this as well.
Something is coming after us.
What?
I just know it, don't ask how. So, I reach into my bag and pull out a key. You will use this to get out of here, and I'll make sure that they cannot follow. Keep playing, Morgan. Everything's fine.
Tuim,
What is this? What do you mean?
I mean that John Chimes was right. We had no choice. Either we would get here or someone else would. Things simply couldn't go on the way they are, but that means there is someone else. And they're probably not very happy with what we're doing.
Do you know who this they is then?
I wish I did. Take it on faith.
Tuim, all right, listen, I will do what I can to get everyone out of here safely. Why don't you take this? And he'll pat his like weird amount of ghost pockets, and he'll pull out from my backpack. It's a guidebook to the city, but inside of it are just hundreds of years of handwritten notes and like additions and appendices and like little arrows and that kind of stuff. And Manny will press it to Tuim's chest and look at them and just say, all right, take this. I don't know if it'll help, but it's maybe it'll come in useful, but I promise I'll get him home safe. All right.
Good. In that case, we're on the last page, and I turn it to the last page, and then I stand up and pull a match out of my pocket, walk towards the water-covered door, and ready myself.
Before you do that, I'm going to take the key from you because you offered it. I wish I knew what was going on.
I wish I did too.
Just fake Gregory. Don't die.
I would have liked to have a sister-in-law like you.
Oh,
I would like to have a friend like you in general. I nod my head.
As the final chord plays, each note landing perfectly, all the feelings that were bubbling up continue to be pulled up and almost out of you. And you start to hear the music of the city get louder and louder. Even though you're underwater, you start to hear it grow and grow and grow. And Manny, something switches for a moment when that final chord plays for you. And instead of all your emotions from life being passed through, you can sense everyone's emotions, every mortal, especially the three in this room, and you can feel that they're yours if you want them. That this city wasn't always inhabited by mortals, but it was always inhabited by spirits. And things are starting to return to as they were. And there's an immense amount of power in every mortal's emotion. While the council did an okay job of siphoning it, that was what the spirits were always for.
Manny?
And
oh, sorry. No, you go ahead.
no, please.
Manny will think about it for a minute, and then he's going to look over at Morgan where they're finishing up this song, and he's going to kind of like just look at Morgan. And I think Manny realizes like he lived his life. He had his moment. And he knows what it was like to have those emotions taken away and outlawed in his own life. So I think he like that's not what he wants for Morgan, and that's not what he wants for Hope or Tuim either. And so he has the moment, and he kind of steps back, and then he reaches into his backpack and he pulls out a crusty old sandwich, and he just sits down and kind of starts eating it. Just kind of shrugs as the world burns.
As this moment of tension builds to that bite, where suddenly the thing that was immediately supposed to happen doesn't, maybe, it's unclear. The music of the city is getting louder and louder, and you can feel it in the walls and even hear it through the water. And it starts to build and compound upon itself. You hear the sounds of the whistle tips and the unsound and the discordance and the luxury district all pulling together into a giant, overwhelming cacophony. And you can hear the sobs and the screams of joy and terror from the mortals as emotions are being pulled out of them, as they're feeling everything all at once. And the spirits are feasting. And it's getting louder and louder, and it's not stopping. And Manny, you had the care to stop, but you seem to be in the minority in this situation.
Yeah.
Morgan, I think it's time to drop the piano.
I feel funny.
And
What's going
Morgan,
on?
as you look at the piano, it's turned from wood to ivory. And the city has returned to as it was when spirits ran the place and mortals did not belong. And that is where we will end episode 2 of Harmonia's Lament.
No.
Catch us next week when we play 10 Candles. Thank you all so much for listening to Harmonia's Cries of Pain. I would love you all to take a moment and tell us who you are and where we can find you really quick. So we will start with Hope.
Hey everyone, I played Hope, she, her, the corporate style looking bitch of Whistle Tips. I am Ambrose, she, they pronouns. You can find me everywhere as SS Ambrose or SS Ambrose _ on Twitter, because Twitter hates me. I am also the founder and creative director of Other Cider Studios, where we play horror games, gothic horror, investigative horror, supernatural horror. We are getting ready to ramp up for season 3 of Arcane Core, but wrapping up the aftermath as we tie that story together and put a nice little bow on it. And there's a couple of things I'm doing just in general, but is waiting to actually announce anything. So thank you all. This was wonderful. And on to the next person.
Taksim, Nordine.
Oh, I'll make it easy for you. I do nothing of import. Nothing at all. But if you do want to follow me, you certainly can at Werewolf Feels on all social medias.
That was at Werewolf Feels, in case Ambrose's scoffs covered that up.
Sorry, I'm
Please
so
do give Nordine
sorry.
a follow. Sam, Morgan.
Hi, I'm Sam Delev. I played piano. Sorry, Morgan. A traumatic reenactment of my music conservatory experience. But if you want me to be doing things on the internet slightly less close to home, you can find me throughout the Twitchernet, the schedule for which is on my about page, twitch.tv/Delevely, DELEVELY. Also, if you like science, and who knows, science is great. It's like the way things are. So if you want to find out how things are, you can watch my clips of May Contain Science, wherein I recap a recently published finding across various scientific disciplines, up on my YouTube, youtube.com/@Delevely.
And last but not least, Kate.
Hello, everybody. I'm Katiosaurus. You can call me Kate. You can find me as Katiosaurus on all of the corners of the internet, where I talk a lot about ADHD and intimacy and relationships, and also TTRPGs. You can find me on Twitch sometimes, or YouTube, or TikTok, or my podcast, which is called Katie and Eric's Infinite Quest. And most importantly, if you're here for TTRPG stuff, you can find me playing Eowyn in Don Marshall's Unpredicted Party. Surprise, he picked me, and I don't know why. It's great. Also, I'm going to be doing the Convergence. If you are fancy playing some D&D in Evermore Park, and I'm also going to be doing D3 at Sea. If you would like to play, not Dungeons and Dragons with me on a boat. Hooray! The end.
Amazing. And I'm Paula Hawthorne. I'm at Art and Audio on Twitter. I have been the game master, and I had a lot of fun doing this. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone, and we will see you next week.